Welcome to the Blxxk Anime Podcast.
You see me dead, do you? Well then. Go on.
She all about that ass. That's slice of life.
Like I love Naruto. I grew up on Naruto. But like, it'll be crazy for me. It's like I just always compared anime to Naruto.
You are now tuned into the Blxxk Anime Podcast.
Not the same.
Bro, that nigga was strong. He just got caught up by that.
Emma is Naruto.
Not the same, bro. Not even close.
I'm afraid he got it.
Definitely
You are now tuned in to the Blxxk Anime Podcast.
This is the end of the road. Afro Samurai.
What's good, everybody? I want to welcome y'all to another episode of the Blxxk Anime Podcast, where we talk about anime, manga, webtoons, culture, all that and more. And today you got your main man here, as always. I'm always on the mic. Y'all know that. Aaron, aka the Lost Homie, aka the Anime Anthology. And today we got a special guest with us today. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Mercedez. I'm a staff editor at Anime Feminist. I'm on Twitter at PixelatedLenses. I write, I edit, I do some translation work. Just black and proud.
Some translation work. So you know Japanese. You know
the
languages and stuff. What?
I do actually. I lived in Japan for 4 years. I just came back this year. Yeah.
Wow, you came back at the worst time possible.
Look, I came back August 11th, 2020, and y'all, I left July 24th, 2016. I left and this country had a black man in charge. It is different now. It is very different. Like,
you should stay in Japan for a few more months. You'd been fine. You would have seen a Demon Slayer movie. You'd have been living a different life than us.
I do regret that, I did not see the Demon Slayer movie. No, but I do a little bit of everything. It's just that's kind of my MO.
That's everything. Dope. That's super dope. Wow. I'm glad we have you on for this episode. This is a jam-packed one. Usually I wait a little bit to announce it, but y'all read the title. Y'all know it's Fall 2020 wrap up. We didn't have a mid-season episode. I planned on having it. But the problem is, there's just so much damn anime this season.
There's so much anime. There's too much. Maybe too much. I don't. There's a lot of stuff that we could have gone without this season, but
But at the same time, it's like this is like, and this thing is none of these anime in this season that I know of is postponed from another season. So this season was supposed to look like this, which is the craziest thing.
Well,
it was supposed
to. I will say Ikebukuro Westgate was postponed from summer, I want to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's I think that and Dropout Idol Fruit Tart, which I also think nobody is watching.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
That says it all.
It's idol anime, so I don't watch idol anime. So that's what it sounds like. I don't watch idol anime. So.
It is idol anime. Yeah.
I like music anime, but not idol anime. There's a difference. There's a big difference.
There's a big difference. Big difference. Yeah.
But so I moved past the mid-season and just decided to do the wrap up. Even though I think we have about another 2 weeks before the seasons really end off, 2-3 weeks, because I think they're on episode 10s this week, 9s and 10s. But Attack on Titan starts soon, so it's time to focus up. It's time to focus up.
Yes.
So plus, I mean, everything's in its last arc, on its last edge, so you can kind of, pick out what's already going to be the best for this season, unless there's some surprising, super crazy twist that happens.
Right. I was going to say, I think the only one that's going to go longer is Higurashi. I think it's 24 episodes. So
yeah, Higurashi. I mean, Jujutsu Kaisen, I'm pretty sure it's going 24 too.
I hope it goes 24. I hope.
So do I. Honestly, I think Dragon Quest could keep going. Dragon Quest. When we get to Dragon, when we talk about Dragon, when we get to it, I'm gonna talk about that for a minute. But I think Dragon Quest, I think it should keep going. But that's we'll get to that discussion.
Okay.
And then I think that's it for the 24 2 core ones. Yeah, because Fire Force ends in its second core next week or week after. So actually, I don't know. I know Fire Force doesn't count as a continuation for the season. Anyway, so let's before we get into it, because you can tell we're clearly excited. Let's get into the what's up real quick. And Mercedes, let the people know what you've been up to for the week, what you've been doing, what you've been watching, reading, all that.
Well, I've been up to a lot. I actually just moved for the second time this year, so I've been up to a lot of unpacking. But I like to try and fit in some time to read. I've been playing a lot of games on my Switch, which who isn't?
I need a Switch.
I have two. I have to say I have two. I'm living that bougie life. I got two, y'all.
Wow.
I got two.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I love playing on my Switch. So that's pretty much, if I'm not reading, I'm on my Switch. That's kind of the life I'm trying to live this year. A lot of Animal Crossing, because who doesn't want to play Chores the video game? I love it.
They just got that new DLC pack. What, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago, and we had Turkey Day, which I feel like is real wrong to have a turkey come and be like, I'm a cook on Turkey Day. I mean, we don't call Christmas Spiral Ham Day.
Come on.
It's just wrong. It's just wrong. But I'm playing a lot of Switch, reading a lot. I have too much manga, most people would say. So trying to chew through that. I think I'm about to start the new Soul Eater, the Perfect Edition that Square Enix just put out. In August? Oh yeah, it's a nice hardcover. I guess Square Enix got the rights back to Soul Eater when they opened up their English publishing branch, and so they're starting to put it out again. But it's these beautiful hardback Perfect editions, and I think they're a volume and a half, which is really nice because it means you have to collect less. So that's kind of what I'm up to. A lot of chilling.
Speaking on this is a sidebar. Speaking on Square Enix and that they got Soul Eater rights back, just imagine. And I don't know how many people like Final Fantasy 15. I really liked it, right? Imagine
I think Final Fantasy 15. Final Fantasy 15 good.
It was good. I know I think it's divided in the community, but I don't know because I think some people wanted it to stay, turn-based, and other people were like, I wanted this. Nah. I don't like turn-based games. So I was okay with it not being turn-based. But imagine a Soul Eater game likened to Final Fantasy 15.
Okay.
That would be hard. That
would go hard. That would be good.
What?
That would be real good. I would love to play as my girl Maka. Yes.
And the thing is, and even in Final Fantasy 15, because you can switch between playing each character and stuff like that, that would work perfectly for Soul Eater. And you could start at the school, and then you could travel with all three of them. Come on, that'd be different.
That'd be good. And I have to say, honestly, since we're talking about Soul Eater briefly, it's a shame that all of these anime are getting remakes. Where's Soul Eater's remake? Come on, y'all.
We could ask that question about a lot of anime. We could ask all the question about
You know what? We could.
Soul Eater's not coming back. Soul Eater's not coming back.
We could.
Sad to say it, because I like the Soul Eater anime, but then I do know from talking about, because I need to read the manga, but I do know from people who's read the manga how much it deviates from it. So I would like them to go back and give us a real ending, because what they gave us wasn't one. So
yeah. I mean, all I'm saying is if they could do that for Fruits Basket, come on.
That is true. And Fruits Basket was a cult classic. It wasn't a mainstream. It was a cult classic. So. Right.
So give Soul Eater. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying.
That Fruits Basket remake is hitting. That joint's amazing.
I mean, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
That joint's amazing. I love it. Me, I've been y'all anime anthology been anthologing this weekend. I've been adding a lot of things to my repertoire of anime. I think I've seen every anime, but I've seen at least one episode of every anime on this list, except for Higurashi. It's only because I forgot to watch it. And
yeah.
I started Real Life today. I rewatched the entire series of Blxxk Battlefront last week.
Wow.
I think for review that we did as our listener choice review.
You've been busy. I
have a problem. I have an issue. I I can't stop watching anime. Like I'm either watching anime, so I'm either watching anime or playing Xbox. And lately I've been playing Destiny 2. I'm after this I'm gonna stream Immortals Phoenix Rising on our Twitch.
Okay.
If I follow this, go to twitch.tv/Black Anime Podcast. Blxxk. You already know. Y'all I ain't gotta tell you how to spell it.
Always be plugging. Always be plugging.
Because we're gonna start streaming more, especially after Christmas. You know, I do laptop, I get new setup. We're gonna start streaming more, and we're gonna start doing YouTube and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, yeah. So I watched probably about, let's see, most of these shows I've had to watch from the beginning. But so the last 2 weeks I probably watched about, let's see, 60 episodes of anime.
Oh my god.
About that, I think that's probably around there somewhere. Because they were at episodes 8 last week. And then once I caught the week before that, I watched like the next 2 episodes because I was like a week or 2 behind. So I've watched a very large amount of anime.
Yeah, you have. Look, I thought it was impressive because like I just remembered I just finished Astro Lost in Space.
Amazing. Fire.
Excellent show.
Should have won best anime last year.
Excellent show. Excellent. So good. Like
not for fucking episode 19. Not for episode 19 of Demon Slayer.
Oh,
if not for that, Astro Lost in Space would have won the fucking summer. But episode 19 had to happen.
Yeah, Astro won in my heart. It won in my heart. Like, because Astro Lost in Space was really good. Like, I was shocked at how good it was, and I'm a little bit angry I didn't watch it as it was coming out. But it's good.
It was tough. Watching it as it came out last year was so tough because cliffhanger after cliffhanger, twist after twist.
Yeah,
you didn't know what the fuck was going to happen when you was watching Astro Lost in Space. Every time you was just like, "Yo, how did this even get crazy?" And it just did it. It just did it. It was masterful. It was masterful.
Excellent. Just.
I forgot what studio made it, or because I believe that's that's not a manga adaptation. That's like an anime. Original.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I think the manga came after the anime.
Yeah.
I think I'm not. You know what? The manga came before the anime. I'm wrong. It did.
All right. Because I don't remember people talking about the manga, but
I think the manga got popular because of the anime.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, because the manga, it was out in Japan like 2016 to 2017. And then I think like Viz picked it up, and because it's 5 volumes, like you watch the show, you can read the manga real quick. Pretty solid. Yeah, no, because it was Studio Lord. I don't know how to pronounce anyone's name. Lurch. Studio Lurch, I think is who it is. Who did it?
All right. Oh, that sucked. Did you finish your sentence before I texted you?
Look, I don't even remember what I was saying.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wait, yeah, okay, wait. No, we were talking about Astro Lost in Space, and I was just saying, yeah, because I looked up the studio and it's Studio Lurch, and I was, which like I should have known that it was a good studio because I think this year they did Toilet Bound Hanako-kun.
They did Toilet Bound Hanako-kun?
Yeah.
What?
The same studio for Astra. Same studio for Astra.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna just say a disclaimer for y'all right now. So what happened was, so if you're listening, probably a little disoriented because I make like a little jump cut to like the beginning of that sentence. So my laptop decided to take a shit on itself and it blue screened me and turned off and maybe restarted it. So we're just now recording. We're back to recording again. Okay. So we're back. All right. It was a weird cut, probably. Sorry about that. I try to make it as smooth as possible within this, but I can't fix that shit. It's just it's dead. It's dead.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Maybe I'll put like a little sound. I'll put like a little sound so you can tell. Put some sound effects in there. Like or something like that.
Yeah. Just throw something in.
All right, let's get started. Let's talk about this anime.
Okay.
So first, I'm gonna tell you all the originals we got on the list and the continuations, and then Mercedes has, I think, one other one that nobody else knows about. So she's the only one watching it. So
I'm the only one watching.
They made it just for her.
No, don't put that on me. Don't put that on me. They did not make this just for me.
Oh,
I
so
am
it's not
just
good.
only-
You just watching it.
I mean, here's the thing. It's not good. It's not bad. I don't really know. I'm still on the fence, honestly. I can't tell if I like it or not.
You know, I understand that. I felt that way multiple times, a multitude of times. Oh my gosh. Actually, that's how I feel about 2 anime on here right now. But I felt better as it got on. But okay, so the originals for this season are Jujutsu Kaisen. Well, these aren't all of them. These are the ones we're watching. Because there's way too much anime. There are still some anime that's not on this list that I want to watch that I have not watched yet. I don't know if I ever will, but I want to watch them. But so the ones that we're watching right now: Jujutsu Kaisen, no less, Akudama Drive, Dragon Quest, Tonikawa, Higurashi, Talentless Nana, Our Last Crusade, or The Rise of a New World, The Day I Became a God, Wandering Witch, I'm Standing on a Million Lives, By the Grace of the Gods, Hypnosis Mike, Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle, Moriarty the Patriot, Ikebukuro, Westgate Park, Kuma 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 Bear. And then for the continuations, we have Is It Wrong to Try and Get Girls in Dungeon? I always forget the long name.
You mean, is it wrong to try and pick up girls in the dungeon?
Yeah, it's wrong to pick up girls. Or, as it's more commonly called, Danmachi Season 3, The Irregular Magic High School Season 2, or The Visitor Arc, Haikyuu Season 4 Part 2, or To the Top Part 2, and then Golden Kamuy Season 3. There's a few other continuations going on through this season, but I don't think they're mention worthy.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's like one like called Is the Right Order a Rabbit Season 3.
Oh, is the Order a Rabbit? Yeah.
Yeah, and I you know what? And it's because I've been thinking like, how do these get extra seasons? Like there's one called One Room, and that has like Season 3, and One Room is one I want to finish watching. I think our boy Jamal over at what is this podcast called? I can't remember right now. Oh my gosh, I'm so mad. But Jamal over there, he's in the UK. He watched it and he suffered through it. I watched about 2 episodes. It is the creepiest thing anime I've ever watched, because you're a grown adult man who lives on his own, and you end up making friends. And this is from a first person point of view.
Oh no, okay, I don't like where this is already going.
And it's anime, so it's still anime. So you end up making friends with a high school girl.
God, no.
And you're a grown man. Like, you know, like if you went to if it was 2 high school people, it would still be creepy, but it would be less creepy. But you're putting me at the lens of a grown man having this high school girl come, and these are like 4 or 5 minute episodes like that, coming to his house and hanging out with him. Like, that's not okay. That's not okay. Especially that's not family. That's not family. That's not family. That's not a family friend. None of that shit. It's just like some girl he sees one time when he's walking, but you're walking because you're watching. And it's just I don't like
anything you've just said. I don't like it at all. I don't like it. I don't like it.
And I haven't finished it. I don't think I will finish. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Because I want to review it, because I'm just confused. I'm confused on how it made it this far, this 3 seasons. But at the same time, my mental health. So
yeah. I was gonna say, wait, you gotta watch out for your mental health. 2020 has been rough. You can't afford to take the hit right now. We're in December, final stretch. You gotta make it across the finish line.
Oh my gosh! And Jamal, I think, or somebody else on the podcast that says on the timeline I talked about. They said there's also a version where instead of talking to a girl, you talk to a boy, and I'm like, that doesn't make it better. I was gonna say I would still be really uncomfortable to be like, so I'm 28. Like, I would be uncomfortable to talk to like a 14-year-old child in any kind of like romantic way. Like, I also should say, when I was in Japan, I was an English teacher. I taught high school students. 14-year-old kids are like, they're great kids, but like kids. Kids, yes, and it's such a weird, it's such a weird fantasy that goes on within Japanese. It goes into Japanese anime. Such a weird thing to make a first person show about it though. Like, it's because it's not you, but since it's in first person, you kind of feel like it's you. So
I was going to say, kind of like you put yourself in the. I don't like that. No.
Yes, it is so. It is so creepy.
And I don't like it with the girl one. Like, look, I can hear the sirens right now coming from me just thinking about this show. I don't like it. I don't like that. I don't like that. That's not good.
Call the police. The police. Call the police.
Yeah, and you're right. It's not good. I feel just as uncomfortable if it's a boy. Like, it's not good for anybody. Like, oh, why do they make this stuff? Ugh. God, I am tired, Japan. I am so. Why did Crunchyroll license it? Wait a minute.
That thing. Yes, Crunchyroll. It's on Crunchyroll. So I watched it. I'm like, yo.
I don't like that my subscription is paying for that.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's we live in a very, very strange world. And
2020 is rough.
Super rough, and emotional love. Anyway, let's move on. Gosh. So what was the one anime you said that you were watching that I don't have on the list? Is it an idol anime too?
Okay, so no. So, well, I mean, arguably, like, I am watching 2 of the idol anime this season because that's my weird niche that I fall into. Here's the thing. Like, disclaimer, like, I am anime feminist resident idol fan. However, like, don't get that twisted, y'all. I will take a critical look at the idol industry. The idol industry is horrible.
Yes.
It's horrible. These young women are treated horribly. They are routinely assaulted. They are not allowed to be individuals. This image of purity that doesn't exist, it's crafted. It's horrible. I think what I like idol music. I like the sound, but like, that doesn't stop me from criticizing things. Like, the music industry in general is horrible, but the idol industry is particularly horrible. But because I don't think I love myself, I like to watch really bad idol anime every season. So
did you watch one that came out last season? What was it called?
Lapis Relights.
Yes, did you watch that? I immediately just zoomed right over.
To completion, and I'll never get those hours back.
You won't.
Never.
I try to say this. This is a mantra I have myself. You can never waste time, right? As long as you did something you enjoyed during that time, or you learned something from it or something like that, you can never waste time. Yeah. However, if you watched idol anime, you have legitimately wasted time. So I mean, I can't.
I mean, but it's true though. It's true though. And I always watch it because, like, I have this weird hope that, like, one day there's going to be an idol anime that's just, like, brutally cruel about, like, the reality of the industry. And I think I'm gonna die before that happens.
Oh yes, that's never gonna happen. Come on now.
No, Lapis Relight, the song. Here's the thing: the music always slaps. Treatment of these girls, though, 0 out of 10. 0 out of 10.
But the music slaps.
The music slaps. Like, the music. Look, the music sometimes be making me feel emotions I haven't felt in a long time. But then I'm like, dang, this industry sucks. That's pretty much my experience with every idol anime. Is like, music's pretty good. Man, it would be great if these girls were actual humans. Like, it's just, y'all, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. But so I was watching Dropout Idol Fruit Tart, which, y'all, this is a historical moment because I found the one idol anime that I was like, I just can't. I dropped it at episode 3. I can't. It was so sexualized.
What?
It was very uncomfortable, and I was just like,
idol anime. Like, who asked that from idol anime? Like, I thought idol anime was about cutesy shit, like overly sensitive type cutesy shit.
It was so uncomfortable. I was like, why are they groping each other?
What?
Why? I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. And like, I was reviewing it. So like, I did watch the 3 episodes I needed, but I was like, in my review, I was scathing. I was just like, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Oh,
I don't like
gosh.
it. It was gross. I have to say, and maybe it's gotten better. Who knows? I'll never find out.
Was it like harem style, or was it just straight?
I mean,
like
it was that weird thing that they sometimes shove in anime where, like, other girls just grab each other's chest, and you're like, no one does that. But like, that was the joke. Was like every every like 2 minutes. That was the joke for the first 3 episodes. Or it would be some weird sexual joke, or like they'd pull back the covers and the girls are sleeping in the bed next to each other except their legs are tangled, and you'd be like, "Oh god. Ugh, gross. Like, I don't want this."
Sounds like something a man wrote.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not even gonna pretend that. Yeah. Probably so. Probably so. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's directed by Keiichiro Kawaguchi. That's a male name. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
It sounds like something a man would write, because I mean,
Mhm.
I say there are some men who write women well
Oh,
in like those situations. We've seen it happen, but whenever you
absolutely.
see me type that exaggerated, that super like, oh, touching their breast, like this is what girls do, right? That's what girls do, right? Like they touch each other's
Yeah.
breast and they lay on each other and they just do all that. So that's what girls do, right? Like that's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what's coming off to me as.
And I don't know who that's sexy to. I don't know who is
Pedophiles.
like, yeah, and like, I'm sorry, that's not my demographic. Like, I was really put off by it, and like, it grossed me out quite a bit, and I was just like, it's a shame, because like, I'm sure that the voice actresses behind those characters really love the work that they're doing, but that's just an anime that I'm like, yeah, that's a no from me, dog. That's
There's,
just
there's, there's a few anime where I'll be thinking, I really think like, do the voice actors really know? Like, y'all know what y'all doing, right? Like,
I
y'all
you
know
know,
what y'all are. Which I need to get paid too, so I can't really be too mad.
right. I was gonna say, like, I can't blame them, because I think that sometimes there's not transparency in things.
Mm.
Um, I like, who am I to say, like, if you're a young voice actress coming up in the industry, I find it so hard to blame them. Like, I'm always much more mad at like whoever made the source material, whoever is directing this, and was like, make them grope each other more. And I mean, Dropout Idol Fruit Tart was a manga before. It is ongoing. God. But that's trash. Don't watch it. Don't love yourself. 2020 has been long. Love yourself. Um, and then there's Love Live, which, like, I mean, Love Live.
Yeah, I've seen Love Live. I think I talked about it when it was
Yeah,
announced.
I mean, I'm not even gonna pretend that Love Live is a big franchise because it's good. Like, I'm trash for it. I'm not gonna pretend. Like, I think there's obvious issues, because like the voice actresses are actually like the actual characters in real life. So like, they are subjected to the same problems of the idol industry. But like, y'all, Love Live is good for a reason. They've manufactured it to be really good. The song slap. You know? Yeah, I mean, they make this idol music go so hard. Like, real talk, Love Live made me cry in the first episode. I was like, "This song is so good." And the
Oh my
3
god.
and I had to take a moment, because I was like, "Wait. Wait a minute."
I might have to pick it up. I mean, the thing is, see, I like music anime, but the music anime I like
Yeah.
is like what was
Hypnosis
it?
Mike.
Hypnosis Mike is an idol anime. Don't say that. Oh, that is an idol. That is an idol anime.
It absolutely is.
It 100%. It 100% is. But like the music anime I like is oh my gosh, I always forget the names of, like, as soon as I start talking about something I like, I always forget the names of it. But it's
Yeah.
usually the ones that's more musical, like not
Yeah.
about the people, but more about, well, it is about the people, but it's more about like the musicality behind everything.
Right. Yeah.
Like Given,
Yeah, 'cause
Given is really good, and
yeah. You know who also did Given? The same people that did Astra.
oh my gosh,
Yeah,
yeah, they
I
did
know.
good.
I know.
Right.
No, like, I definitely prefer music-oriented anime. Like, I watch idol anime with that hope that, like, one day the holy grail of, like, critical of the industry treats the female characters like actual teenagers is gonna happen. And like I
Mhm.
said, y'all, I'll be dead before that happens, so, you know.
And it's not a CGI mess,
Yeah. Yeah, and so I guess the third one that I'm watching that's not on the list is Maisetsu Opening Act, and I know I'm the only person on this. I'm the only person probably in North America watching it.
Yeah, is that another idol? What is that about?
No, so that one's a comedy one.
Oh, I do like
It's a
comedy.
yeah, well, but it's like Japanese style comedy, and I think if you don't
Mm.
find like Japanese comedy duos funny, you're probably not going to like this show.
Okay, that's understandable. A lot of people like, yeah, because American comedy is different than Japanese.
Yeah,
comedy.
it's very subjective. I mean, like, it's a heartwarming show about like a bunch of college freshmen trying to become comedians. Like, honestly, in 2020, I just needed a really light show because, like, Wondering Which was not that show. Like,
honestly, I'm gonna need you to type that in here. Send it to me. That sounds like it could be interesting to me. That's
okay,
what I like.
okay.
I like
Yeah,
that.
I do think it's worth a try. I think it takes a moment to kind of find its stride. Like, I do think it's actually just a genuine show about 4 girls who are trying to become comedians. It's not it's not inventing the wheel. It's not doing anything major, but I do think it's actually I think it's pretty good. I'll give it to it.
I will definitely check it out. I will definitely check it out because that sounds good to me. That sounds watchable. So I was going to say we're going to start not worth the watch, but I'm going to rant about how bad those shows are for a little bit.
Let's get into it.
We're going to go straight to okay. It's not worth the watch then. So first thing I have. There's only 2 shows I have this season right now personally. Except for the other one that she said. What was the first one? Drop Dead Toaster.
Drop out. Idle Fruit Tart. Don't watch.
Drop out Idle Fruit Tart. That's not that one. The first one I have down is Kuma Bear, and Kuma Bear is. I watched on episode 1, and after episode 1, I just had no desire to watch more of it.
Episode 1 was a mess. It was a mess.
I could see where it was going for, but the animation wasn't good enough. That's the first thing. Animation was very kiddie, which is fine. I mean, that works sometimes, but it just wasn't. It doesn't grab you. It doesn't grab you.
Well, and it's a very confusing message because, like, so I found out it's an isekai, which I didn't know. I thought it was like a virtual, like a VR MMO anime. And
wait, so she actually, she does be tracking it.
Yeah, but that first episode doesn't give you that at all. You think like she's gonna, you think she's like a kid who's playing a video game. It was so confusing to me to watch because I know from the light novels it's an isekai. But I was like, is the anime different? And apparently I think I don't think that this first episode, either it's not in the books, it's an anime original, or it happens at a different point, but like it was really confusing to watch, and I did not like that. I did not like that.
See, that's fair because and I've been comparing these style shows to Bofuri from was it earlier this year or last year? I can't remember.
It was
winter.
It was winter.
Bofuri is the best. Now, and this is my unbiased opinion. The best like VR MMO anime ever. Like I don't put like somebody like except for maybe like Excel World. Well, when I talk about overpowered characters, that's what I mean. So we have that OP character, the one that's supposed to be the best ever, can do whatever they want, but it's also VR MMO. It's not an isekai. This is probably like Bofuri is probably the zenith of that world. You know what I mean? Yeah. You can't compare it to like Sword Art Online because that isekai is for a little bit, and then it doesn't, and then it does, and then it doesn't. So we're not comparing to that. But Bofuri does a really good job of letting you know that she does take this game very seriously, but then she's also a regular person outside the game. Like she has a life, like she's a person. Like
that's what I thought Kuma was going to be. I thought it was going to be like, okay, this girl has like a wicked powerful bear suit. That's not what it was. Like it's an isekai, and that was really that first episode. Like I could see how you could watch it and still enjoy it, but like I couldn't bring myself to watch episode 2 because I was just like, this was so confusing.
For me, it was confusing, and it was one of those shows. Like, so the other show that came out at the same time as Bofuri is there was another VR MMO game when it came out. It was called oh my gosh, I can't remember what it's called right now.
I was gonna say I know there was another one, but I literally can't remember.
I can't remember his name. But the problem with it is it took itself too seriously. Let's listen to Bofuri. At the end of the day, at the end of the entire day of them being serious and fighting seriously and learning different fighting styles and like that, it was a video game. At the end of the day, it separated the two, so like it never became so serious to where it's like, yo, like what the audience is like.
Oh wait, wait. The other VR MMO one was Infinite Dendrogram.
Yeah, the Dendrogram, trash. But like
Yeah.
it took itself way too seriously. Like
Yeah.
he was like, if I die, 3 days in the game goes by, I can't let the NPC. They're fucking NPCs, dude. Like they're not real people. Let them die. Like but like in Kuma Bear, it reminded me of that because first of all, I don't really like the main character's personality. Like, I mean, a personal thing, but I think she is so serious to the point to where it takes away the hijinks.
I was gonna say it kind of takes away the fun of like VR MMO anime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I wasn't super charmed by her because I did review the first episode and like I can't remember in my review how I felt, but I feel like I was kind of on the fence. I was like, well, I guess she could kind of be likable, but like she's not my kind of character. Like it's just, I mean, and it was also kind of a really predictable first episode. Like after I got over the confusion, I was like, oh, okay, like clearly Yuna's gonna take out the Black Viper and she's gonna win and save the village. And that's exactly what happens.
It's not like it needs to be a surprise, but like it just became, oh, by the end of the episode, she found a cheerful friend who's gonna be all cheerful the whole time. To her, to be the straight man to her, you know, like the comedic duo, like she's the straight man and that's the punchline type thing. Like that's like, come on now, like it's boring.
It just and like, you know what, like I think I'm a firm believer there's an anime for everyone and like an audience for every anime. Kuma is not going to be something I'm watching. It's just not like
I try to hold myself to have I can watch. I like watching trash for the most part because trash is good sometimes, but like there can like every season has a guilty pleasure anime or a few that are bad, but they're also good enough to be like, wow, this is actually enjoyable. Like this could be something, right? And the anime for me for that this season is By the Grace of the Gods. That one's like, it's kind of like, this isn't like perfect near anywhere at all, but this is like fucking enjoyable. Like, wow.
I haven't dipped my toes into that, but like that makes me want to dip my toes in. I like some good trash. I like trash
because it's like it's nothing. I don't say everything needs to be complex, but it's simplistic to a fault. Like if have you seen Ascendance of a Bookworm?
Yes.
Yes. So imagine like a watered down version of that. That's what By the Grace of the Gods is.
I can get into that.
It's not like it's because Ascendance of a Bookworm has some type of complexity to it. It's still very simple, but it has some type of complexity to it. You know, hierarchy of things that are going on, and there is like different type of pulleys in the plot system, and there's subplots going on. Also, that By the Grace of the Gods doesn't have any of that. You know,
right.
But get away from the point, but just Kuma Bear is just it should be what I can't think of it. It should be a guilty pleasure, but it's not.
It's not. Kuma Bear feels like you know as a kid when you like got a plate of chocolate chip cookies and you bit into one and found out it was oatmeal raisin.
Yeah,
it's kind of what Kuma Bear feels like.
Good analogy. Yeah.
That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
And and someone out there likes it. I'm glad. Like clearly it's popular. It's super popular in Japan. I believe the light novels are selling like hotcakes. That's great. But the anime is just not for me. Just not.
Next we gotta talk about the most disrespectful anime has come out in a decade. The anime, the bad anime that tops bad anime, and that is Hypnosis, Mike. So I will finish this because I'm doing an episode with Spicy Girl Shanti and Panda over at Worst Gen. Spicy Girl from Spicy Girl Entertainment, Panda from Worst Gen. We are gonna do an episode together talking about this. I think probably I don't know whose podcast, but we're gonna talk about it. And Hypnosis, Mike. One, it's an idol show. It's 100% an idol show. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not about musicality. It's not about, it's not about the music. And that's what makes it bad, right? It's not about the music. And then it's also like a bastardization of rap culture in general.
And I'll say the shame of it is like, so Hypnosis Mike franchise started way before the anime. Like, it's been a thing for a few years. And the franchise outside of the anime, I think, is very different than the anime.
I don't know too much about it. I remember
Yeah.
when it first got announced, I remember reading about it, like, through, like, the Anime News Network and, like, checking out the
Yeah,
news on it. Yeah.
it's the actual franchise with the so it started off as just a music-only franchise. Like, any video game stuff and the anime came far after it had already been out. That part of it where it's only music is a lot different, I think. Anime, on the other hand, is unabashedly weird.
It's just, for me, like, reading up about it first is like it in a way it was like Japan trying to say, like, I'm not trying to say this is what they really were going for, but it feels like they're the ones, like, they're the pioneers of hip hop. And as you read into, like, what they did to, like, promote the show, but then also talking about the hip hop influences that it has, they don't talk about, like, the closest thing they get to black people hip hop is this is the GOAT. This is the GOAT. This is the man. This dude that made the dude that made the music in Samurai Champloo.
Right? Nujabes. Yeah.
We love him. We love him. That's that nigga. You know what I mean? He influenced Jay Dilla. He influenced so many different beat makers, and he the GOAT. But at the same time, he's not black. So, like, I remember reading a news article on a channel probably about 2 months ago now, where they talked about, oh yeah, and in Japanese hip hop, it did this and that. This is a guy, this guy, DJ this. And as a black person, I'm like, who the fuck are they? Like, y'all just naming people like you just because they're big in Japan. I feel like, for me personally with the anime, I feel like it was like not having any black people for real.
And I mean, let's be honest, like, Japan has a bad history of appropriating a lot of black culture. Like, I mean, and I'll say, I say that as someone who has lived in Japan. Japan has a problem with appropriating a lot of black culture, and anyone who lets Japan off the hook as like, oh, well, Japan doesn't know better. Y'all, blackface has been in Japan since the 1800s. Japan has had the internet for the same amount of time that the rest of us have. Nowadays, it's no longer an excuse to say, well, they don't know better. Do you think Japanese people are that ignorant? When people say that, it feels like, well, do you think Japanese people are incapable of learning? They're not. Like, there is a degree of ignorance of, like, oh, I like this thing, not connecting it to black culture. Here's the thing. I don't believe with Hypnosis Mike that, like, they didn't have research money to know that, like, even if they had brought on black Japanese people to consult, even if they had brought on black Japanese musicians to consult.
Bring out Wu-Tang, motherfucker. Like,
there's a big problem of, like, this anime's taken a lot, and and I will say there is also, when you consider, so, like, in the English dub, and I cannot remember what character it is. I think it's one of the characters of Dirty Dogs. God, I hate saying these names out loud. I think one of the characters of Dirty Dogs, I could be wrong. One of the voice actors for the Japanese dub, he did blackface. So, like, I mean, and yeah, he's Japanese German, but, like, wherein that is the excuse of, like, it did blackface and now you're also on a rap anime. That feels gross. Like, and those two events are separate. They're years apart, but still, it's like,
it's disingenuous. Like, it's just it takes away. And my thing is, let's talk about. I've seen about the first episode, and I started about half the second one. And first of all, the premise of the anime itself is dumb because
it's a lot.
It's like stupid because it said, oh, women take over the government, right? All forms of warfare are banned, but this microphone that you can make to make illusions that do hurt people. These people are hurt, that do injure people, is now is new weapons of warfare. I'm like, what? So you took over the government to stop warfare, but then just created warfare. So it's like that. It doesn't make sense. Like, the premise itself is dumb. Yeah. And then when you actually watch it, it is some of the most cringiest, some of, like, the corniest stuff ever.
It's a lot, and I will say a part of me feels bad because I don't think the anime represents the franchise well. at all. And it's going to be interesting to see this dubbed because I don't. God
If
bless.
it gets dubbed. If it
God
gets
bless.
dubbed.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it is weird because like there's the whole premise of like Japan's been taken over by female like fascist, which is a weird like it's, it feels like this weird nightmare scenario that someone created, but like women aren't evil. I don't know. And then they replace like weapons with microphones.
And the thing is, they honestly immediately subvert the idea of them not being weapons.
Yeah.
In the first episode, when the military guy comes out and blows up like a bunch of boxes. And he says, "Yeah, I'm in the military. You think I can't rig some explosives?" So then what? Like that immediately subverts the idea that they really wanted to. They could get guns.
I think you just have to like
they could get the guns. I'm confused.
Hypnosis Mike, Hip Mike makes me think like you just have to not pay attention a lot to certain details because the world kind of falls apart, right? Like if you think too hard, it falls apart. And like I'm glad it exists. I know there's a lot of Japanese female fans who really love this franchise and I'm very happy for them. But I do for myself, it's hard to watch because I'm just like I start overthinking about things. And I do think there is realistically there's the issue of like, yeah, it cribs a lot of Black culture. It cribs a lot. Like I mean, I don't have an issue with non-Black people rapping, obviously. Like, I mean, all like Eminem, great. However, like it does bother me that like in the year 2020, assumably no one Black was contracted to assist with any of this. Like,
yeah.
And there's listeners, y'all, there's Black Japanese people that live in Japan. There's Black people that live in Japan. Went to a soul food restaurant in Tokyo, and you know who it was owned for? It was Black people from Mississippi. There are Black people in Japan, and I don't understand why like no one was consulted on, like, hey, like, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like this anime, it's a lot, and that's all I can say about it.
And I mean, my problem is that when you think about it, the idea of having a shonen style battle rap anime on paper could be an amazing idea. Like,
it could be
amazing. But this is just not the. And I'm not. And again, I agree. Like I don't like. We don't. We don't care about. Black people in general, we don't really care about non-Black people rapping.
Right.
It's when you kind of take it, bastardize it, and make it seem like it's your thing. Like that's not your thing. Like people talk about, we talk about this in like the Spicy episode, but like the two moments that we Black people really love of rap, and it's on Black rap and anime, and at two different ends of the spectrum. We have Samurai Champloo, where a lot of rap elements, a lot of hip hop elements is in there, but it's you can see the homage. You can see the love that Nujabe's put into it, and Nujabe's and like the director and everybody that put into it to make it be like, this is our anime, this is our style, but we know we got this from Black people. Like we know we got this from Black people. Righteous scratches and all stuff like that.
And I think so often folks forget that's all we're asking for. I don't think it's a big thing to ask to be recognized that like this came from a certain culture. It's not political. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. Like, and it is weird that like that's just completely left out. They don't have to put it in the anime, but that would be nice to see in the staff. And that's, as far as I know, it's not in the staff.
I mean, and like the other ones I was like Devilman Crybaby, where they have those few rap scenes. And first of all, one, they spitting in those scenes. That's one thing. But then two, it's like it's not one, the entire premise of a show, and then two, at no point are they really kind of state claim on, and not even the promotion, not in the articles about the show. Not like people reference it, they really like it, but at no point do they make it the main pool or any part of the show. But when you have this, I'm like, this is just listen to it. Like, first of all, I tweeted this today, but Hypnosis Mike, the rap and everything like that, it reminds me of epic rap battles of history.
Oh my god, yeah, kind of. Oh my god, it has that vibe. Oh my
It
god.
has that
Okay.
same vibe as like Epic Rap
Okay.
Battles of History. Like in Epic Rap
Yeah.
Battles of History, it's like it's not a bad channel. Like they're funny, like they're jokes, but it's
Yeah.
not real rap.
But
It's not real rap.
yeah, it does. Oh god, now I can't unthink that. Great.
like
Great.
when you and I think the beats are pretty good, but their beats are like the most basic of
Yeah.
style type beats. It's like this is Epic Rap Battles of History, like
Yeah, you're
it's
not
cool,
lying.
it's corny. And then also seeing them pull out microphones from the insides of their jackets, like
It's
to
a
pull
lot.
it out of Glock. It's like, yeah, man, and pull out a mic. I'm just like, bro, like I'm just gonna start laughing at you. Like
It's a lot. It's a lot. And like I said, I'm glad it exists for fans that really like it. Like I think it gets a little too much flack some degree. Like it's an anime aimed at like a female audience who likes this music, and that's great. The world does fall apart for me when I start thinking about it too much, and I'm just like, okay, it's just not for me, and that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fair for me. Like
Okay.
my biggest problem was that I just feel like you could have that focus for that audience, but then also just have an actual good anime in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you didn't. The whole premise of itself, the women take over, fascist women government,
Yeah.
and we take all the guns. But then we're going to give you
Yeah.
this very, very dangerous microphone.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
And why did they choose the rap? They could have sang. They could have done a lot of things. They chose the rap. Out of all the things
Yeah.
they chose the rap. Like this could have been a really good J-pop show.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm not sure. And like, and the rap. I mean, the rap is just a lot because like they specifically chose. Like, there's good Japanese style rap, and I don't understand why they didn't go with that versus like clearly dipping into like rap that is black. Like there's Japanese style rap.
When I read about it, it's supposed to be like promoting a boy band or something like that.
Yeah. So like, yeah, that.
Like
So
boy band characters.
yeah, but so before the anime, like years before, there are different like I guess units. There's different like actual boy band, and like they have actual voice actors who perform. So like the anime isn't promoting that directly because it already existed. I think it's just opening up the rest of the world to this thing that exists in Japan. But I do also think to some degree it's goofy. It's just goofy. It's a little bit goofy. It's a little bit goofy, and that's just what it is. This is what it is. Like I'm not even gonna lie. It's a little bit silly.
I honestly really hope this doesn't get dubbed because there's no way to.
I don't know what they're gonna do.
Like there's no way to translate the raps in Japanese perfectly to English because because as somebody who speaks Japanese and like does it, the way they rhyme in Japanese is way different than how we rhyme.
Yeah,
it would have to change the entire structure of the music entirely.
I worry. This one might be best just like undubbed, because that would be rough. That would be rough. Funimation, don't dub this one. Don't dub this one, sweetie. Nope. Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
So those are the three anime we think are not worth the watch. Kuma Bear, Hypnosis Mike, and
Dropout Idle Fruit Tart. Don't watch. Don't do it. Do it.
So let's move over to like this. So this is the honorable mentions. So again, this season has had like so much good anime that it's
so
really
much
hard to. For me, you usually have a top 3. I have a top 5 this season because it was so hard. This top 5 was really hard to pick. Also, so like it was very hard to really choose what was going to be our top 5, and then I couldn't say all these other shows are good. Like it's hard to say. Like a lot of honorable mentions. As always, continuations don't go into here because that's not fair because they have like history backing them up. So we'll just talk about those separate. So still good honorable mentions. The first one we're going to talk about is Noblesse. Noblesse is really good. I'm really good.
I'll say I haven't watched it yet, and I feel like I'm missing out a little bit. Like, I feel like I'm missing out. It looks good. It sounds really interesting. I know it's originally Korean, if I'm
Yes, so
correct. Yeah.
it's the next one in the webtoon anime, and so for webtoon anime, we've had this year the main ones we had, Tower of God, God of
I
High
was gonna say
School,
yeah.
and Noblesse. Noblesse and Tower of God are the only two good ones so far. Just
Okay.
first thing, because God of High School is garbage. But I'm really glad we got Noblesse because Noblesse is different than those two significantly. So if you
Yeah.
haven't watched Noblesse, you go on Crunchyroll, watch the one episode over first,
Okay.
and then go into the series because it follows right off of that. And and it's really good also because you see the animation in one episode over is still good, but
Okay.
it's the same similar art style, but the animation's much better in the next season. Well, in the actual first
Okay.
season. So it's
Okay.
really good to see that small transition from okay
Yeah,
animation to really good animation. And then
and
also just being more compared to other webtoon series, being more of a slice of life mystery style anime
okay.
that isn't 100% focused on fighting is really
Okay.
like a breath of fresh air into the
Yeah.
webtoon anime. Good,
Well,
honestly.
and I have to say it's really nice seeing Korean webtoons get a chance to shine. It's
Yeah.
really nice because I mean, you know, Japan and Korea have a very understandably difficult relationship, specifically from Korea's side. It's very understandable. But it's nice to see the industry also looking at Korean webcomics and webtoons seriously. Because there's some really good stuff. And so I definitely I got to get on Noblesse. I got to get on that.
It definitely deserves it, and I think, and my thing is, I love Tower of God because, but okay, I know for the main part they went with Tower of God. I don't know this. This is my assumption. They went with Tower of God and God of High School because they wanted things that were closer to shonen style of storytelling. God of High
Yeah.
School was a mess. It was a rushed, horribly paced piece of garbage. Animation was nice, but everything else just fell apart underneath, the foundation. There was no foundation. It was just pretty lights, and then he just fell through the house. There was nothing there to
Yeah.
keep him up. While Tower of God was a nicely crafted story that begs it wants more. I thought it was really good, like a 9 out of 10 type good beat on the animation, art style, the way they did their story, their pacing. They did a lot of good stuff. We actually did a review on it, so you can go back and check that out if you want to check it out. But Tower of God did a really good job of setting kind of the scene for what webtoon anime could be. And then Noblesse again is just another take on
Yeah.
it. And I think what we really need next from webtoon anime, we need a romance slice of life. And there's so many on
Okay.
webtoon.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's my opinion. I don't know if we're going to get
Yeah.
it. But I think
Well,
we need that.
I mean, I feel like Noblesse is going to open up a lot of doors because it's definitely it's a series I keep hearing about a lot this season. I think it's going to allow a lot more Korean webtoon anime, which is great. Bring it. I love it. I like that we're getting some different stories because I mean, so there's a lot of variety in anime, but sometimes you do get the same story and you're like, man, I wish I could have something different. And clearly Korean webtoons have got it. So I'll
I mean,
take it.
I love opening the door because for me, anime is worldwide. It's no longer just Japanese. So it's great that we're
Yeah.
getting this in different areas by studios like Crunchyroll, which are, big on Japanese stuff. But
No,
Bless is
it's great. It's great to see Noblesse. I love it. Love
the art
seeing
style and animation are really good. The characters are really good. The premise and the story behind what's going on is really good. At some parts, I would say don't think too hard because if you start thinking too hard, you start questioning shit.
right.
But I mean, it's a fantasy. So unlike something like Hypnosis Mike, where it shines in your face that this shit don't make sense. For Noblesse, it's like little things like him being like a 400-year-old vampire, but going to a high school, and it's like, come on, real life, that nigga's not gonna look 16. Like that nigga probably look 25. Look at in high
My
school
God.
for. But in the end, it's also anime, so everybody in high school looks like they're
Right.
supposed to be like 28.
Right. And
So
and you just suspend your disbelief. You just stop paying attention too hard and just roll with it, right? That's what you have to do. Cause yeah, he wouldn't look 16 if he was 400. I hate to tell y'all. He, I,
He might
oh,
be 35, but I don't think he's 16.
right. He might look good, but you know.
But the story itself and everything that's going on with it and how they're building up on the plot and how the world is growing in Noblesse is really honestly, I'm not gonna say masterful because it could be done a little bit better, but for the most part, it's just done really well. Like it's a really enjoyable series, and I really love it. Moving on, let's talk about Dragon Quest. You've seen this one, right?
I haven't because I don't know anything about Dragon Quest. Here's my knowledge of Dragon Quest. It's got slimes. That's it. That's it.
Well, you don't have to know anything about Dragon Quest to watch Dragon Quest because I don't. Really
Okay, see, because that's what held me back from watching it was I was like, I don't know anything about Dragon Quest, so like I can't watch this anime.
That you don't need to, and this is okay. This is what I'm gonna talk about. I've been wanting to talk about Dragon Quest since I finished catching up on it last week. And this okay, so I feel as though Dragon Quest could be, even though it won't be, which sucks because it needs to be dubbed. But this Dragon Quest reminds me of early 2000s to like mid 2000s anime, or even late 90s, where it's that anime where kids watch it in the morning. It's like something. It's like that morning. It's like when you wake up early enough to watch Pikachu. Pokemon. You wake up early enough to watch like Pokemon.
Yes.
In the morning.
Okay, so it's like a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yes, and it's perfect.
Okay.
Like it's why I love it so much. It's also like the Dragon Ball and something like that, where you wake up early Saturday morning and you turn on Dragon Quest, and it's like it's kiddie, but it's not too kiddie. It still has those small adult themes, but then also like it's it's your baby's first anime, you know.
Okay, but you know what? I think that's actually a really good thing. I think there's a really big place for like baby's first anime kind of anime, and like. I really like that it gives off that Saturday morning vibe because, like, when you think of Saturday morning cartoons, I think especially if you're American, you think of like getting a bowl of like some tricks, like still in your pajamas.
Mhm.
If you're Black, your mama still got that satin bonnet on. It's Saturday, y'all, and you sit down for the TV and you watch some cartoons, and I think that's really really good.
Mhm.
That like Dragon Quest has that vibe because it kind of makes me want to watch it now.
It really fits really well into that niche where the art in Toei, and this is because it's Toei. It's Toei. This is what Toei does. This is what Toei animation does. They make this kind of anime for the most part, and they do a really good job of through the art style and the animation, just marrying this this level of adult themes, but then also still childish, still like a kiddie. Like I love watching it because it brings out the kid in you type thing.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's going on the watch list. That's okay. Yeah, no
That's
contest.
also why I see like this could definitely be something that I would want. Now, again, I don't say this often. I would want to be long running, not because I feel like there's low effort, like that, but this is something that if it ran, it could. I'm not saying it's like it's fucking One Piece, but like it definitely has the longevity ability to be something that could just run continuously. That doesn't need the seasonal treatment just because it's not that complex of a story. Like Black Clover should have been seasonal because it's that complex of a story.
Yeah,
but like One Piece or like Dragon Quest, where it's just it's just a big ass journey. Like you don't really need. It's like hard for me to say, but like you don't need it to be seasonal. This could be something that's long running that could have good flavor. It could have a lot of fun stuff that happens in this series. So I just Dragon Quest, it needs to go to Toonami already. They need to dub this shit. Dragon Quest, it could be big. In my opinion, it could be big. Like show up Cartoon Network at 9 a.m. on Saturday morning, and you can have little kids running around acting like Die or some shit. Like
No, okay. I gotta watch. I'm gonna watch. Like I'm gonna add that to the list. On the list.
As it should be. Now for one of the only two romance, I didn't watch the other one yet. Adachi.
Tonikawa.
Suminari. I haven't watched it yet. Or Sumari, I can't remember the name of it. I will watch it, so y'all don't get on me. But Tonikawa, it's really good. I really love it. I really love it.
There is something so good about watching like this 18-year-old child fall in love with his wife. It is good. And I'll say like it doesn't do the thing of like Tsukasa's never like she's not sexualized, like he clearly likes her, but like he fully respects her. That's his wife. He loves her, and it's good. It's good. And I thought the first episode I really liked it, and I was kind of worried that it was going to get like the joke of him being just super into his wife is going to get old. Does not get old. It's good.
I like it because it's again like we ask for these older anime with older themes. This is what this is, and what I like about it, I love about it, is how innocent it is, but then also how they are also adults.
Right.
Like I'm tired of where holding hands is the epitome of the relationship, the epitome of the relationship.
Right. Like they kiss in episode 3.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's beautiful. Like, I'm so happy. Like, I made me so happy. I was like, so we actually have something that's they've never been together for like ever. Like, we met them once, and then 3 years later, now they're married. And so it makes sense that it's going to take time for them to do more stuff together. But they do it in a really well-paced fashion. It doesn't feel like they're moving too fast. They just really like each other.
Right. And it's just really good. Like, I can't think of anything else to say. It's good. It's just good. Yeah. Like, and everyone should. It's the kind of chill, cute anime that we all needed kind of at this time of the year. Like, we needed Tonikawa. We just didn't know that we did. We didn't know we were going to, because we all thought we were going to get another check. But you need Tonikawa.
I just never come.
Yeah. Good thing we got Tonikawa.
But yeah, I agree with everything. It definitely needs to be watched. You definitely fall in love with all the characters, even the annoying little sister. Like, she's annoying, but she's annoying. But it's like that love. I love it when little sisters stay in their fucking place, and this by their place, it's like this cute, adorable annoyance. That is the little sister's place.
Yeah,
okay? We need that. In an anime, they're usually not in that place. Anime, they're usually too old. Anime, they're in love with the big brother. And I don't need all that. I don't need all that.
Yeah, she's just like an annoying sister, but like you do like her. You're like, okay, well, she's kind of real. She's a little unrealistically annoying, but you're like, it's not too unrealistic.
Yeah.
Good.
If your younger sister or younger sibling, if you fell in love with somebody randomly and just left the house and they loved you, like y'all were best friends type thing, and she had access to an unlimited amount of resources technically, they might do some of this crazy shit. I mean, she had 2 bodyguards. She can do whatever she wants. Come on now, like, might do something.
It's good. Like I'm sure that there's things that you could say are bad about it. Like, I'm sure, but I just like it. It's just really good. It's very cheerful. It's happy.
Yeah. So we went from happiness. Let's go to sadness. The day I became God.
Christ almighty.
The sadness. This anime is destined for sadness.
I mean, like, so look, I love Jun Maeda. I like him a lot. Jun Maeda does not know how to make stuff that like isn't sad.
He does not believe.
He
does not believe in happiness.
Like, and it's interesting because like the day I became a god. Honestly, if you watched only the first 3 episodes, you would be like, it's not sad. It actually can be a little bit boring at times. And then episode 4 happens, and you're like, oh, okay, the plot's kicking in. Like, plot's kicking in. Great. Okay, wonderful. It's fascinating. It's a really interesting show, and I have to say, I'm still not a fan of Hina. This child screams so much.
Oh yeah. She's a child.
She is a child, and like I have to remind myself, like she's an actual literal child. But like, I do think Day I Became a God is really worth watching.
I would say I do have maybe some faults in this, and it's definitely paced badly in my opinion.
It gives you whiplash.
He really wants to finish this in 12 or 13 episodes. Like,
and it should be longer.
Yes. It should definitely
This
be.
should.
It doesn't have to be 24, but at least 18.
I was gonna say like it should be longer because like the first 3 episodes are filler.
Mm-hmm.
Like you spend like you're like okay, so you know he meets Hina, and then episode 2 is like I don't even remember what happened in episode 2. Was that where they saved the ramen shop?
No, that was like episode
Was
5.
it episode? Oh god, I just
Episode,
like
I know episode. It was like episode 1. Did she move into his house? Episode 1.
no. So she comes home with him. Episode 2, she's in his
Yeah,
house. Yeah, that's where his sister is like, I need your help filming some stuff.
Filming the stuff. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
And then her like she collapses. Episode 3 is save the ramen shop, and
Yeah.
like independently, those are they're solid episodes. I think some of the humor just didn't hit me.
Mhm.
But like they're solid episodes, but back to back at the beginning with nothing. Like this whole anime's premise is like the world's going to end in 30 days. And back to back having those episodes up front with that premise at the beginning, you're like, I would love some plot now.
I would love to, and I mean, I think, and I see, and I agree with that because I feel like the plot once we get into the plot, what's really going on when you get to episodes, 4, 5, 6, like where they have like this underlying subplot going on, and he does a really good job of deftly showing you like these little hints of like premonitions of what's really going to happen.
Right.
And it does a really good job of that. But in the beginning, it's just kind of like, and I understand like he wants you to fall in love with the characters because he wants you to be sad, but it's just moving too fast. Like, bro, like
Yeah.
One episode, and I'm not gonna lie, I do love the episode where he's playing was it Shogi that he's playing?
Yes.
That episode is fucking hilarious. When he remembers and she says, anything you can do in Uno, you can do in Shogi. I did cry. I did start crying laughing.
It's good. It's good.
It's good.
But like
it's properly placed. Because it's like,
Yeah.
that's not, I feel like this is taking away from what the show is wholly supposed to be about.
Right. And I'll say like, so when I first started watching this show, I was very leery of Hina as a pink-haired character because, June Maeda's last pink-haired character, it ain't in so well for her. And I also think like I was leery because like the last really big June Maeda joint was Angel Beats a decade ago. And like I was really, I mean, which like when you think about the fact that show is 10 years old, you age a century. But like, I was worried because like how much was The Day I Became a God gonna play off of nostalgia? How much was it gonna tug on, okay, you, the viewer, are 10 years older and you remember my last show, Angel Beats, and that broke your heart. Get ready. And like I think that has worked poorly because like I don't think I'm alone in going into the show with that nostalgia and watching those first 3 episodes and being like, well, that sucked. Like,
well, I mean,
I don't think I'm alone in that.
For me, like watching Angel Beats, I don't think Angel Beats was as good as most people say it is. And that's just
No, I'm with you because like here's the thing. I think Angel Beats is good because nostalgia makes you think it's good. It's not bad, but it's not as great as I think a lot of things that we remember. Like there's a lot of plot holes in Angel Beats, and there's a lot of plot threads that do not get connected.
And I don't think it's as sad. I think I really like how, at the end of the show, like, oh yeah, he gave his heart, and that's why he's so giving. Like,
right.
Oh, cute. But at the same time, I didn't think it was as sad. And so like I can see why I can see him trying to pull on that to make more people.
I think a lot of it is nostalgia. But like I think you can say that about a lot of things, that a lot of feelings about like older shows. Yeah, if you watched them 10 years ago, if you watched them like as a college kid or a high school kid, yeah, you're gonna feel differently than like if you watched it today. You probably wouldn't feel the same if you watched it for the first time now. And I don't think that's bad. I think that's just time, right? But it did feel a lot like he was trying to pull on, you watched Angel Beats and you remember being sad. Are you ready for another pink-haired girl who's going to end tragically? And I don't like that still, and I'm really not sure where we're gonna land ultimately.
Mhm.
I mean, the story's getting powerful.
Even with the episode with like the dad part, I just feel like that was like so exaggerated. Like the dad's like, I can't be her father because I left her because she was terminally ill, and I thought she was going to die, so I left her. I'm like that's super fucked up. But then like at the same time, she's alive now, so you might as well just take the chance to be there to be for her now because she's alive. And he's like,
right.
Nah, but I gotta wait. So I mean,
it's just there's a lot happening in this anime, and I'm just not sure. Even still, I'm not sure where it's gonna land.
Yeah,
I
think that's the only good thing about the show is that you really have no clue.
But like I'm willing to watch to the end. I just have no clue, and hopefully, I think the lesson to be taken from this show is like nostalgia can be a really bad thing to go into a show with, because like it definitely colored my view of the show, and now that I've kind of shaken it off, and They Became a God is a different thing. It's its own thing. So who knows where it's gonna land.
Big point with this than he was Angel Beats. And They Became God is 90% comedy, 10% sadness.
Yeah.
And if you don't think the comedy is funny, like the movie episode, I thought it had a few parts where I was like, oh wow, this is actually kind of funny. But like most of it was just like, let's get on with it. Let's come on.
Right. And I agree. If you don't find the comedy funny, you're probably not gonna like the show.
Yeah, no. Because
you just probably aren't.
5% of it. Yeah. Next, let's talk about Wandering Witch Elena, also known as Kino's Journey, but as a witch.
I mean, I feel like it's such a disservice to call this Kino's Journey, and I say that as someone who, when I reviewed it, called it Kino's Journey because, like, y'all, Kino at least does something.
Yes.
Elena is just like, well, I can't use my magic to solve, and I know that changes probably. I'm not interested in that. I'm angry, and that's how I feel.
I like the show because I love the Kino's Journey as feel like. But the best part about Kino's Journey is the imaginative nature of the author of the story. That's the best part about it because you get to see so many different countries that work in a very different way than the last one, and that's what's so fucking amazing about it.
Right. I mean, because like I love me some Kino's Journey. I'm a big stan. I don't understand why we don't have the light novels. It's probably because Tokyo Pop messed things up for us when they had them.
Or season 2.
I mean, but like, that too. But like OG Kino's Journey is really good, and it's really sad to me that like what I thought was going to be magical Kino's Journey is just Wandering Witches. It has an audience, and I know the novels are super popular in Japan. A lot of people really wanted them to get translated into English. My issue is not with the people who put in the work on those. Anime can be really bliss at times, and y'all, this year, this pandemic, I don't need that. I just don't need that. I don't. And Elena pisses me off. I know she's a child. I know she's a kid.
She can't get off on that no more.
She's an adult in this world, basically. Sometimes it just make me so angry. I don't like that.
I have this in Still Good because I do agree with everything you're saying. I have this in Still Good. I mention because I think the animation and the imaginative nature of all the different stories and worlds,
beautiful,
really good, really well done. But Elena herself, she allows things to happen. And that's all about Kino's Journey. Kino's Journey starts out with Kino. She's really like, I'm not going to interfere. It's her own personal choice. I'm not going to interfere with the people I meet at their lives. But then at the end of the day, she realizes that she has the power to change these people's lives for the better. So at times she will interfere because she feel bad if she didn't. Elena feels nothing for the people. That it's all about her. She's self-centered. She's very self-centered.
And maybe it would be different if like Elena's broom talked to her, because like, Kino had Hermes, and like he would be like, yo, Kino, yo, You gonna leave this slave here? Like, whereas in Elena's slave episode, oh,
She really,
was
she
a
really left.
downer.
She really left the slave. She was just like, oh, man,
Was
that's
a
crazy.
downer.
Like,
She
damn,
was
that's-
like, man, sure does suck. I'm gonna fly off now.
Even like with the whole evil flower shit, right? And how that episode ended, ominous as fuck, right? So and I'm just gonna I have to talk about this episode because this episode pissed me off. So in this episode, I'm just gonna give y'all basically the full rundown. In this episode, Elena goes to this country, but first she stops at this flower patch. And there's a girl in the flower patch that gives her some flowers and says, "Can you please bring these to the neighboring country?" So Anna says, "Yeah, sure. These are some beautiful flowers. Wow, it's a big old flower field, thousands of yards long, whatever." So she takes them. She gets to the country, and the border patrol's like, "Yo, you can't bring those flowers in it." Like one dude goes crazy. I was like, "Yo, what the fuck is wrong with you? Get those flowers out of my face!" Like he starts wilding, and
Right.
so the older dude comes by and says, "Yo, that he's young. He just knew, but those flowers are illegal in this country." And the older dude, he tells her why. He's like, "Yeah, because they lure people and they kill them and stuff like that, right?" So he tells him that the younger dude actually had a younger sister that went missing,
Right.
and they believe that she was lured away by the flowers. And okay, so at this point, I'm like, she only got to do shit. That's not really her problem. Like the flowers are gone. That's not really her issue. Like as long as the flowers will come over and take over the town, then you're good. So she stays there. She finds out some more, and then the border patrol guy comes to her and he's like, "Yo, like, but the dude is missing. Like the old younger dude is missing. I don't know where he's at. Can you help him find him?" So she searches around the town. And then she goes back to the flower field. And she sees him about to be eaten by the flowers and just watches. Doesn't do shit. She just like, wow.
It's rough. It's rough.
She's watching like, wow, y'all niggas crazy. Why would you wildin'? That couldn't be me. And then instead of like, if this was Kino again, she might not have done anything. But when the episode ended, you would have drove away and you would have seen like flames flying up behind her because she would have burned the field down.
And
like,
Kino would have mourned what happened. And I think that's part of the issue is like it feels the story can feel quite mean-spirited at a lot of times. Like Elena can feel quite, and I know like it's the ethos of witches that like there's some things that magic can't solve, and that would be fine. But it feels like so often Elena just goes in for the story, for the plot, and then like flies away from this problem. And you're like, she just witnessed this real messed up stuff. And like, I guess she's just gonna fly to another country now. And it's just I feel I just don't even know what to say.
There's some episodes where her way she feels, the way she acts makes sense. So and even at the end of that flower episode, you can see as she flies away, the flower people that were like attacked by the flowers walking towards the city, about to take over the goddamn city. And I'm just like, are we not going to see the end of that? Like, are we not going to like? Does she just really want to leave that like that? And like that, it makes you dislike her as a character and somebody said this on Twitter. They said Elena, her mom said not to fight or something like that, and Elena took that shit to heart, and she said, "I ain't doing nothing ever again." She is so powerful too. It's crazy. But the episode where it works in her mindset is with the episode where she finds that castle that's being terrorized by the dragon every night, and she doesn't, and she is willing to help that person, but the person says, "Let me do it." Like that's where her attitude works, because it allows the story to be told, but then also shows that she does have some level of empathy and does have some level of caring for her common man at the end of the day. And then how it ends in the way that the dragon ends up being like the father and shit. That was fucked up. But I mean, their whole family was fucked up.
Well, and I will say credit to the story, because like the fact that it gets under so many people's skin, it's not a poorly written story. I think some of the execution is bad. I think the ideas are interesting topics. I just think sometimes the execution isn't great, and I think the sometimes the shock value. I'm like,
Mm.
and
The
also
shock
like,
value was taken to more importance than the actual character growth or
right.
like the development of the character. Yeah.
Also, and like, y'all, I mean, maybe this is because I'm black. Could we stop having the weird slave thing in stories? I don't like it. I don't like it.
Which one was the slave episode? What happened in that one episode? I
Oh,
forgot.
okay. So gosh, I can't remember what episode that was. It was basically like this girl. She's like I feel so bad saying she's enslaved. She's a servant in a home. And like she's you know what? She is a slave
Oh yes,
because
I remember that one.
it's heavily implied that she was bought to be used for sex.
The dad says I bought her from, she was a slave that I bought from somebody else, and she's supposed to be like a good slave or something like that.
Right. Which like good slave idea is such a low, y'all, I'm begging you to please stop including this and stuff if there's not going to be nuance. Yeah, I mean it's like and I mean it is implied that she was bought for like, you know, bed warming, like she was bought to be used for something gross, but like I mean the resolution of that is that like I guess she's supposed to be happy with the fact that like the boy she loves gives her a gift.
And it's not like she even loves him because
She's still a slave.
Not only that, but she's afraid of him. Like that's like
right.
It's like the like just thinking back on it now, like it's a really bad message because I understand like him, like the son falls in love with her and wants her to be happy. I'm like, sir, she is a slave that gets berated by your father every day.
Right.
You don't do shit but watch. So why is he supposed to be happy in that situation? And then actually no, the resolution is also
the resolution is very sad.
Yeah, like Elena leaves and she's like, oh, maybe sometimes people shouldn't know how good their life could be, because he goes and like captures this jar of magic happiness and all she sees is people with freedom and she's getting fucking yelled at and more than likely bed warming against her will. And that's not like, come on now. Like,
I mean, that episode ends really sadly. Like, I mean, like the implications of like, this is just life for her now. And like the fact that I mean, like, credit to the show, it doesn't make light of it. Like, it's grim. Like, he thinks they're tears of joy. We clearly know, like, that's not.
She's not happy.
Good. Like this is her life. This is it. This is.
Everybody else gets happiness, and I'm a slave for life. Wow. Thank you for showing me that.
Yeah, and I just like. And you know, this isn't a lot of like isekai. This isn't a lot of like fantasy stuff in general recently, and I don't feel like the slave thing has ever given the nuance that I wish it had. The best I've seen has been like oh gosh, what is it called? There's a light novel out right now called it's like The Alchemist Who Survived. It's got a long title. And the basic resolution kind of comes to like, well, it's okay that this guy is the main character slave because she's a good master and she's given him freedom. She gave him clothes. And you're like, yo, he ain't Dobby. She ain't give him clothes. Like, you know, and it's very uncomfortable because there's no nuance. There's no explanation of like, y'all, slavery is not good. Like, and like she's a good master because, and I like this book series a lot. I struggle with this one specific part. Like, she's a good master because she only makes him take like a small slave tattoo. But like, it's still bad. It's still bad.
It's like it's still a brand. Like, you still branded him as your own. Like, that's still bad.
You own a human being. It's not good. It's just not good. It's just not good. And that's kind of, I feel like wondering which doesn't go there necessarily with like branding a human, but I do feel like I feel like it wants to tell a really poignant series of stories.
And I'm what?
I don't
Like
know
that's
if
the
that's
resolution.
being
Like,
yeah.
people don't talk because if they talk, they're gonna hurt each other's feelings. So if we can't lie, then we not just like that's the resolution to the story. Like the ending resolution is really like, oh, people tell white lies because it's good. And I'm just like,
yeah. It's not a great moral. Like and I think from my understanding, I think maybe the light novels are a little bit different. I know I've read part of the first one and I found that there was a little bit more nuance, but it's a shame that the anime is kind of ending up like this because this was really anticipated and it was really like supposed to be highly expected and it's just not it's just not good.
It definitely do
It's
better.
just not
It definitely do better.
Yeah, and I'll say I feel it's not good, but that's from me. I do think it's still worth watching.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree.
there's an audience.
I do think I do like even though I'm talking all this shit on it, I do think it's still worth a watch. I still am gonna finish it. I still enjoy it. It's just you know what I mean? It just need a little help.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now let's talk about the two isekai-ish and isekai series of the season. And that's I'm Standing on a Million Lives and then By the Grace of the Gods. Have you seen I'm Standing on a Million Lives yet?
It on me because I haven't seen it. I think I got isekai'd out and I'm just like anything that hints at isekai this season, I'm like, yo, I gotta take a moment.
That's fair.
I got to take a moment.
I'm Standing on a Million Lives is surprisingly a good series. It starts out kind of poor. It starts out kind of like what, but then you know, so it's also kind of like these people get transported to this new world and they have to finish tasks to survive. And they don't finish the task, then like I think they die. And then
that's rough.
Like it's very like but it's serious. Like it's like a video game-esque world, but it's also serious. But it's serious to the sense that like this is why I think it's good. They have a discussion either last episode, 2 episodes before, where they talk about because they asked the guy who's in the game master, he's the one that brought them into the world. That like if you can ask him one question, and he asks him, he says, "Is this like real life or not? Like what is this?" And the guy says, "This is the future. Like this is a future world, and we're going back and we're trying to change the past to change like the future or something like that." So some like kind of explanation like that. But at the same time, the main character, he's like, we don't really know if he's telling the truth. Because we don't know this guy. Like he could be telling us anything he wants to tell us. But like if we kill somebody in this world, is it really killing somebody or is it just like killing an NPC? Like it does a really good job of like tackling that complex issue within that world, within that microcosm, which I think is really good. And so it makes you question a lot of the actions and a lot of the morals of the characters and the way they act, especially the MC. So like because it starts out very kind of slow and kind of poor, but then it really picks up, you know, as he gains more skills and the other characters gain more skills, and the challenges become more taxing and harder, and the decisions become more difficult. So like they just finished an arc where they had to deliver the goods to this place called Rattleboro, and they had to scour 5% of the map, and they had to get to Rattleboro and deliver the goods, whatever. So they on their way there, they run into this opposing country while they're with one country, and they help them out. And it finds out that the opposing country is traveling with religious people, who they're taking to Rattleboro to kill them, to execute them in front of everybody to let people know. Don't come to our country with this religion shit. So yes, it's serious. This is a very serious anime.
There's a lot happening.
There's a lot happening. Our main characters have to make the decision. Is like, okay, are our goods carrying these people to their death, or is our goods something else? Because the task does not tell you specifically what the goods are. So they have to figure out so it's like it's very complex, and it's in a way where it's not so complex it's overwhelming, but it is in a way like it's very interesting the plot, the way the plot moves and how it builds upon itself is really interesting to watch. I'm really enjoying it.
Okay, I mean, like that actually sounds interesting because I think sometimes sometimes the reason why I don't end up watching shows is like, you look at the cover art at the little poster and you're like, oh god, there's gonna be some isekai or it's gonna be another VRR, MMO like kind of thing, and I think it's very easy to assume, but like that actually sounds interesting.
Like I thought this was going to be isekai garbage, and I'm like, but I'm still going to watch it because I like some good isekai garbage. I ain't gonna lie, I'm not. I thought this was going to be like SAO. I mean SAO is garbage. I don't give a fuck what y'all saying, but I thought it was going to be like SAO.
I'll be the first to say, like, I've read a lot of the SAO novels. It's trash, and but it's fun. It can be fun trash, but like, it's got problems. It's got a lot of problems, and it's called Death Second Season.
Because I love Kirito. That's my nickname.
Like it's good stuff, but like it does have. But I feel like you could say everything has problems, right? Like Pokemon got problems.
The way A1 Pictures animated the last 2 seasons and season 1, I almost cried.
Beautiful. I mean, it's a beautiful show. It's good.
I love Kirito so much.
Kirito is the best boy in anime. Like,
okay, I was about to take my ears off for a second.
Fight me, y'all. Kirito's good. Kirito good. I like him. He's a good kid. He's a good kid.
So much. He has such a good
heart. Kid.
But yeah, I thought Standing on Main Line was going to be something like that, where it's going to be like some, but it's not. It's not at all like that. It's very unlike I thought it was going to be, and it's surprising in a good way. But now, By the Grace of the Gods is a full-on isekai.
Okay, because I know the premise because, and this is weird, the novel I think just got licensed in English. So like I know I wanted to read the novel, and like also there's a slime involved, I believe, which like
there are thousands of slimes involved.
Oh man, I love slimes. Okay, so I'm telling y'all, he's good at. There's too much this season, but I'm always down for a slime anime.
It's about this guy who lived like a regular life, a turbulent life. They always do. A turbulent life on Earth. He dies, gets resurrected, and resurrected as a kid in this new world. And he lives in a cave, and he starts breeding slimes. And he figures out new uses for them and all stuff like that. And it's like, some people who breed dogs. Like he's breeding slimes, like a cleaner slime, an acid slime, a rock slime, like all these different types of slime.
Funny.
And it's like, okay, this show is not garbage, but it's not good. Okay. It's just fun. It's a fun and entertaining show. Like that's all.
I think we need average anime. Like not everything can be a banger because then you never sleep, but not everything can suck because then you never have fun.
Yeah, and this is right in the middle. Like it's like he's OP, an affinity for almost all magic, but then at the same time, but that's not what the show's about. Like,
yeah,
the main arc of the show that they're on right now is he opens up a dry cleaners.
My God, can I also say, like, can the gods stop killing off Japanese men for isekai? Could y'all give them a break? Like, I feel like every isekai is like a 30-year-old Japanese man dies from like overwork,
exhaustion,
and like
depression.
And you're like, dang, could y'all, instead of killing them, could you like talk to their boss and get them like a week off?
But I feel like this is also kind of like the so this anime I don't believe is a power fantasy. I believe this is like the opposite in a way. It's like it's a relaxation fantasy. Like
I was going to say it sounds like a chill fantasy.
It's like the fantasy of like Japanese men who just want to like live a life where they don't have to do much, and that's what this is. Because like, it's like it's still fantasy. Like he still has powers. He's still powerful, something like that. Right. But with all that power, he opens the dry cleaners.
Yeah, like it sounds like, I mean, like literally his fantasy is like rest, which like is that not all of our fantasies is rest. But it sounds good, but you know what? Like I have a fond spot for like E grade solid anime. Like, I think there's a really important place for like B, and I'll even say like C plus anime. Or like, you know, they could you could give or take. There's a place for them because like you do need something kind of just like I can put it on, I watch it, watch something, and it's enjoyable enough. And then I go onto a banger like Akadama Drive, like there's a place for it.
There is. By the grace of the gods fits right there. That's a good. It's like a C plus B grade anime. Nothing to write home about, but you will enjoy it.
Yeah, like I don't think I think like you'll have a small part of like fandom that will be talking about it after fall 2020, but for the most part, like I like anime that like you watch it in the season, it's just pleasant. It's like not offensive, it's just chill, and then you move on from it.
It's not doing too much all that. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
The last two we have are two mystery detective style anime that
Oh my god,
are
so good.
They're both phenomenal, like in their own different ways. First of all, Moriarty the Patriot. I love this because it gives us first the viewpoint of Moriarty. So this is anime Sherlock Holmes again. This is the 20th time we've had this, but it's its own version of it in which we get, instead of some cuckoo crazy Sherlock doing cuckoo crazy things like doing dance moves and everything, we have just a regular old English storytelling of the rivalry between Moriarty and Sherlock Holmes. But it's instead we're giving it first from Moriarty's point of view, and then we're switched to Sherlock's, and I'm pretty sure we're going to be switching back, which is going to be really awesome.
Yeah. Now I will say the one big difference is that Sherlock Holmes is hot, and I don't like. I was like, look, I was watching it, and Sherlock came on, and I was like, what? Why is he attractive? It really threw me because, like, I don't know about you. I don't think of like British men as. I feel like I'm about to offend somebody. Here's my hot take. I don't think of British men is particularly hot, and I do know that Sherlock Holmes is like Irish or something. He's from the UK. I don't typically think of like Sherlock Holmes as being like attractive.
Idris Elba is from the UK.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. I forgot that. I just think of Idris Elba as black. I forgot. I did forget he's from the UK. Okay. Everyone who's melanated in the UK, hot. Sherlock Holmes, I don't really think of him as attractive. However, Japan saw that and was like, what if he was? What if Sherlock Holmes could get it? And I mean, that's pretty much like, that's my takeaway from this is like, apparently Sherlock Holmes can get it. And Moriarty ain't bad looking either. Like, both very handsome men. It's good though. It's good. The animation is pretty solid. Like, it's good.
I love the view and this is something we don't really get. Even like the Robert Downey Jr. movies, Moriarty's a true villain. In this movie, this show, he's not a true villain. It pits them as not only a battle of wits, but a battle of ideologies. Because like in the most mainstream you usually get like Sherlock Holmes, we get Moriarty battling him as more of an equal in wits, in which Moriarty would do anything to outwit Sherlock and vice versa. While in this one, it's more so Moriarty is trying to help people who don't. So obviously, hot take. Moriarty will be the one that be fighting for black people. I'm just saying, okay? That man is killing nobles. Like once I seen some of the rich people in this, it made me hate rich people again. Like every once in a while you get a little soft on rich people. Then you watch something like this.
I'm sorry. You might get soft on rich people. I don't.
No, it's not I get soft. I forget they exist.
Okay.
Then I watch it and I'm like, them motherfuckers. They thought I forgot about them. I didn't forget about y'all rich motherfuckers.
Yeah. No. You know what? Moriarty would be like, give him the guillotine.
Yup.
Give him a taste.
Yep.
You know what, Moriarty?
I'm gonna help build the guillotine. I'm gonna bring it with me.
Moriarty's a real one.
Mhm.
That's the lesson from this anime is Moriarty, he on our side.
You know what I'm saying? He will fight for black people. And I'm not saying Sherlock wouldn't. I'm not saying Sherlock wouldn't.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is I feel like it would take longer because Sherlock is more, he doesn't care. So that's the thing. That's the thing I like about this. Moriarty cares about right and wrong. Sherlock, so far from what we've seen, does not care.
Sherlock's a little bit. He's a little bit not. He's not an anti-hero. He's because that's too severe. He's just a little bit more like misanthropic. Like he doesn't really. It's interesting because like kind of like Sherlock in the OG novels, like he was kind of a jerk sometimes.
Yes.
Like, he was a huge jerk. So like it's actually nice to see a kind of like true to reality Sherlock where he's a little bit careless. Like he's handsome, but like I get the feeling he could be a jerk.
Mhm.
Like I absolutely do.
I totally agree with that. Like he doesn't care what people think. Like again, this is something that where I feel like Robert Downey Jr. was kind of forced, but in this one, he's just kind of like he'd just be talking. He'd be like, "Yeah, I do whatever I want. That's just my life. Yep, that's cool." And people just look at him. Everybody's like, "What did you just say?" He said, "Yeah, fuck y'all."
But it's good. Like it's really well executed. Like I think Sherlock and Moriarty are both very likable.
Mm-hmm.
Very likable.
I agree.
And it's just good.
It is, and I'm interested to see how Moriarty pulls Sherlock because I feel like Sherlock right now. That's why I say right now. That's how he feels. Right now, it feels like Sherlock does not necessarily have a compass. He's just obsessed with solving puzzles that are from Moriarty. But what happens when Sherlock finally sees that what Moriarty is doing is subjectively right? Like, what do you do then?
And it is interesting because like Sherlock, I would say Sherlock is not an anti-hero, but he's definitely the antagonist of this story.
Yeah.
Like, and it's going to be interesting because I mean, it is a 24 episode series. So like, we're not going to get resolution by the end of this year, but like, it's really going to be interesting to see like, where is he kind of getting pulled? How's Sherlock's character going to shape up? It's just really, it's real good. Real good.
And also like seeing him as an antagonist, like it's again, it's like I can't keep harping on this, but it's like seeing him as an antagonist. It's like Sherlock is not bad. Like he's the antagonist, but he's not a bad guy. He's just the opposite of the protagonist.
Right. And I think it's interesting having a character that's an antagonist that isn't bad because like if you think about it, well, like Batman's an antagonist for Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Like look, I don't know anything about Superman, but whoever Superman doesn't like is his antagonist. Contacts. Like, yeah, but I mean, an antagonist doesn't have to be a bad character. It's just the character that's opposed to you. And it's really interesting seeing Sherlock, who is typically the hero character, be put in the position of the antagonist because he in this case he is for Moriarty. It's just interesting. It's really good. I'm really glad that this is getting an anime. I'm glad that the manga is out in English. Just great.
Mm-hmm.
Living for it.
The last one we have in the honorable mention is Ikebukuro Westgate Park, which is so good. And the thing is, I really love it because out of all of the series, I would say it's necessarily the slowest, but then also one of the most interesting. This one almost made it to my top 5. It only made it to my top 5 because I love a good slice of life, and this is definitely straight out slice of life mystery, but it has a lot of soul to it. It has a lot of heart. It has a lot of heart to it that we don't see very often in this type of anime.
I do like I only really saw the first episode. I do like that like weed is such a this anime kind of cracks me up. And it's something that I think I want to go deeper with because like it is kind of interesting. I think like it seems like it's quite genuine. I think Ikebukuro Westgate Park kind of got picked on a little bit Because of its first episode, I think people kind of thought, oh, Ikebukuro West Park is like, it's like Anime Dare. Like they're gonna tell you about, like don't do bad things if you.
Hell,
And I do think it's more than that actually.
I mean, watching through, it's not necessarily because it's about gangs and there's definite fighting and there's definite like illegal activity going on, but it's from the idea of like honestly this is like another hot take.
Look, lay it on me. Lay it on me.
It's talking about Hypnosis Mike and rap being a lot about, and I think it's about gang culture in a lot of ways, right? Ikebukuro Westgate Park has a lot better resonance when it comes to gang culture than Hypnosis Mike. Like it does so much, like because it's about because like it's not like, oh, you can't sell drugs. Like you can't sell drugs, but you on G Boy turf, nigga. You trying to sell drugs on G Boy turf? Only the G Boys sell drugs out here, motherfucker. Like that's like what that's what it feels like to me. That's the
right. Well,
in my head, that's what comes out. That's not what they say.
Well, and I do think it's a little bit more realistic because, like, I mean, with Hypnosis Mike, with Hip Mike, there's just so much going on that like the rap almost takes the background because you're like they have these magical mics, and it's just there's so much, but it does seem like Ikebukuro Westgate Park is actually like trying to be a bit more genuine, and I think that the first episode kind of got panned as being maybe a little bit goofy, as being like, oh, don't get that reefer. And like I do think that it's probably grown past that.
Yeah, because for me, like for me watching it, I didn't even think of it. I know, like it is definitely akin to weed or something like that, but it was also more so like showing like the power of the G Boys, and it was also saying like it was bad weed. I'm not going to try to decipher it, but to me it felt more as though like that kind of gang identity where like you on our turf, you can't do that on our
right
turf. We do that, not you. Like you can't come on here and like start disrespecting us on our turf. So that's really what I really got from it more than anything else, because there's a lot of fighting that goes, a lot of fighting and illegal stuff that goes on from time to time.
Yeah.
Not a lot of death. But they could definitely end up being that way. But it's more a lot about a lot of people getting beat the fuck up, and which I do like. And animation for this is actually really well done. Like it's really good, and it's just the story compiles in itself and it becomes very interesting. We got stories about like single mothers being taken advantage of. We got stories of like we got stories of like we had like a YouTube story where this guy basically fakes a YouTube attack. Like he fakes an attack on him, which honestly, as somebody who knows YouTube, it was just funny watching it because it was like the guy started like an online beef with this other YouTube group, and I'm like, oh, okay, so he's faking it. This is fake, but like it's done from the lens of like people who are ignorant of technology and like newer technology, so they think it's serious, and I'm just like, oh, nah, he playing the fuck out of y'all. He's just using y'all for exposure, but it's like it's like they do a really good job with telling all these different stories and making them very filled with tension and making them feel real, like what you were saying. Like it's definitely very grounded, and I really like watching the developments and how they resolve the issues.
Yeah, it sounds like I'll put myself there. I think I made an assumption of like, oh, this anime is going to be like this. I'm going to say if you haven't watched it past episode 1, like I'm gonna give it another chance, like because it does sound quite genuine. It sounds and I think it's like there's a place for like middling like average stories. I think there's a really nice place for like genuine stories in anime, and it sounds really good. It sounds pretty solid, so like I'm definitely gonna sneak that into my list.
And I would say something I forgot to say for Dragon Quest, which I'm gonna say for it right now, is that Dragon Quest and Ikebukuro kind of remind me of older anime storytelling. Where Dragon Quest, like I said, Dragon Quest feels like Saturday morning anime, after hours, Toonami, whatever. But like it sounds like, it feels like that kind of anime that's like, baby's first anime. You don't get that often. We really feel like there's anime is like you would And I mean, you could like people talk about for anime for like my kid, they would say, you know, Pokemon, maybe go back and watch Dragon Ball, or maybe go watch Naruto, something like that. I'm saying Dragon Quest, like Dragon Quest is it's really
Right.
that niche, and it feels old, which is good. It doesn't.
Oh yeah.
It feels old, like it's like, and you know, it's something I feel like we don't get anymore. We don't get older storytelling, and then the
Right.
same thing with Ikebukuro. It's because I thought Ikebukuro was something else also. Reading the description, I thought it was going to be about a guy taking revenge for like a woman or something. I forgot what the synopsis really read, but it's not about that. It's kind of like it's every episode is a different story. And as it builds upon itself, we do get stories that coincide with the past stories, and then it builds on itself in a really well-mannered way, in which I don't even know the main plot is right now.
Yeah, no,
it's just about
it sounds interesting. It sounds really interesting, actually. And like I said, I think it's easy to judge anime by like and I mean, I say this as a reviewer. I review both anime and I review like manga. I think it's very easy to judge things by reviews. Like sometimes you just have to sample it for yourself.
Yep.
I think reviews can be really good at like warning you away from things. Like obviously, maybe you shouldn't watch something if it's going to hurt you, if it's going to bring up bad memories, if it's something, you know, just like distasteful, if it's something you don't want to be interested in. You know, obviously reviews are helpful there, but I do think sometimes you just got to sample it yourself. Got to try it yourself.
I agree.
Shame. No shame.
But that's all the honorable mentions. And now
are we at the top 5?
We're the top 5. And
yes.
Right now, mine's not really in order because this is a really hard order for me. And so okay, let's just start from number 5. My number 5 is Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle.
I love Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle. It is so like full transparency. I'm reviewing this show for But Why Though?
Mm-hmm.
Like I review it week to week. I love this show.
This show is so good.
It's so good. This tiny purple-haired terror of a child.
She's the villain. She's the villain.
I mean, like I knew that this child was ride or die when she took them scissors in that first episode and cut a monster. I was like, she's a real one.
No expression on her face, and like she is like It's so funny to me because like I love it when they do stuff like this in stories where you know like the demons are bad and the heroes coming to save them and all like and they made it as cliche as possible, and that's
lean into it. They lean into it,
and then they give us this tiny child who is the most evil being in this entire world.
She's a monster. Like Demon King Twilight kidnaps the Princess of Good Rest, which like I see what you did there. I see what y'all did there for the princess that likes to sleep. Kidnaps her, and this child is like, you know what? He got them cheap sheets from Walmart. Guess it's time to make my own, and goes and kills a monster instantly. KO, decapitates, sends him to, and I swear to God, this character has the best name in the series, Demon Cleric Leonard. Don't know why this man has like a grown man's name, but
grown man that plays chess in the park.
I mean, sends them to Demon Cleric Leonard. It is great. This time, and the fact, like when she gets kidnapped to another castle, y'all.
She just does. She's just like, oh, well, I've got to do it again. Oh.
Like, it's great. It's great, and you would think that the gag of like Princess Cialis, wanting to get like sleep would get old, which I just have to say, it is very unfortunate. So when I started this anime, I was like, oh, is Cialis like a sleep medicine? Is that why y'all Cialis is not a sleep medicine? It's not a sleep medicine. Her name is that because like it's a pun on the sound of like sleeping in Japanese, but it's not a sleep medicine, y'all. I mean, if you take Cialis, you're not going to be sleeping, that's for sure. But anyway, like you would think the gag of her doing this would get old. It's not old. It's good. It's good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
This is like one of those golden comedies that I feel like we don't really get all the time. It's like she just they did her demeanor, everything about her is perfect. And then how, like, in the beginning, you kind of see her as ruthless, but at the same time, you're like, she's still a prisoner. But then where we are now, you're like, I said this yesterday when I was watching it. I was like, you're not trapped in this. I'm not trapped in this castle. You're trapped in this castle with me. That's what we are right now when it comes to her. Because at this, I would have gave her back. I'd been like, you know what? I don't even want the fight. Take her back.
Yeah.
I don't even want
I would have been like, y'all can keep her. Here's a bill for everything she did. She killed half my demons. She turned one of them into an igloo. Like she cut one of their brothers into a log bed that she slept on once. Y'all can keep her. Keep her. No, I mean I love it. I love Cialis. I love I love that, like, there's an entire episode arc dedicated to rescuing her from the other demon castle because they're so concerned.
And then she rescues herself and leaves. And like,
it's like she leaves in like that clown car that Bowser Jr. has. She yeets herself out of there, and it is great. It's funny and like it's just good.
And I love how even in that point, like, I hate when they don't say, when I feel like they don't say everything needs to be said. And at that part when she's finding her way and like the Demon King chasing after, like, princess, the one girl, she's like, well, why do we even come here anyway? Like, I love it when they do that. They don't say what needs to be said. Like, that was the perfect thing to say. Like, it just
I like that it leans into tropes a lot. Like, but I like that it also subverts, like, you think Cialis is going to be like a princess and like the damsel in distress, princess in another castle. Y'all, the Demon King wishes she was in another castle because he is tired. Ain't nobody sleeping in this castle. Except for Cialis.
Except for her. And the last part is like, it's funny because they're attached to her now. And it's funny how, like, in the last episode, I think it was, where they try to teach her to be a proper prisoner. And they all and they're like, stop, just go back to normal. Please stop. I can't, I can't do it. And then she's like starts trying to use it to guilt them into doing stuff for her. And it's like, and I love how, and like one of the reasons why I really love this show is because at the end of like the last episode, she's like looking at the window and she's like, she realizes that they're not doing nice things for her because she made them feel guilty. They're doing it because they're just generally nice. And she's like, why don't humans and demons like each other? And I'm like, thank you. Like, it's an amazing type of nuance for like this kind of show.
It's really good, and I like it because it harkens back, like in that opening in episode 1, they're like, there was a time where humans and demons lived together and it was super chill. And like it's funny because like you are seeing it kind of come full circle of like, like the Demon King actually really cares for her. And like it's funny because the Demon King is just like, dude wants to be so intimidating, soft as a marshmallow. Like the moment Cialis goes missing, he's like, we gotta go. We gotta get her back. Like mounts like Jason Bourne, like, gotta rescue this child. And it's just funny. It's just genuinely funny. I really like I think people could say you want more plot. No, you don't. You want Cialis rampaging around the castle. That's what you want.
The part where they just show the hero getting lost and stuff like that every few times, it's amazing.
It's so
amazing.
funny.
I get
it's
it.
so
I get
funny.
It. I get it. He's Zoro. He's Luffy. I get it. It's perfect. Thank you.
Well, and it's funny too because like the Demon King gets really concerned for him. Is like, okay, he keeps going up against monsters that are a little bit too strong. Who can we send that won't kill him but can be killed?
It's so good. It's like so good. Like you said, when they lean into those tropes, and it's like, because we're seeing it from the Demon King's perspective, not the heroes. So the hero thinks he's getting stronger. The Demon King's like, yes, perfect. He defeated the level 0. Now he's a level 1. Now I'm going to send out level 2 to make him level 3. Yes, it's so good.
It's excellent. Like all I can say is like, if you're not watching Sleepy Princess, you need to be. It is absolutely like the dark horse of this anime season. And I think it's probably, I'm gonna call it, it's gonna get a season 2.
I really hope it does.
The manga is still ongoing. It's gonna get a season 2. Absolutely.
I really hope
Absolutely.
it does.
And I hope the OP goes as hard as the opening does.
The opening and the ending, the
so good.
Top two, SS class, double S class,
So good.
Ending. It's
so good. So good. Like, so good. Yeah, I mean, we gotta get more.
We gotta get
That's
more.
all. Funimation, if you can hear me now, I'm sending my prayers to you. Get that good shit now.
Would you say it's your number 5 too, or would you?
You know, it's definitely my top 5. Like, because I have to say, like, my top anime, I never put them in order, but like Sleepy Princess is like top for sure.
I'm trying to like do it as in my head, like as I'm looking at it, because it keeps changing in my head.
Yeah.
So for my number 4, I have Our Last Crusade or The Rise of a New World, also known as anime Romeo and Juliet. And I think they're doing a really good job with the show, like of building this world around, it is anime Romeo and Juliet, and building this world around that idea, but also having really good fight scenes and really good animation, but then also really, in-depth characters and building upon the plots, and like they're doing so much right, in the show.
Well, and I'll say like the premise is pretty fascinating. Like, because I'll say like this was another one, and I'll put this on me. This was another one where I definitely looked at the art and I was like, oh God, it's gonna be some isekai, and I'm wrong. I'll admit I'm wrong. That's not at all what it is. It's actually very different than that. And like I need to watch more. Like, because it is fascinating. It's really pretty. It's very well executed. Like, I mean, y'all, it's good for a reason.
It's a lot, like the romance is done really well, where it leans into it but doesn't like throw them together, because that's one thing, is like they like each other definitely, but they still have they still have their own ideas of how to bring peace, and they have not made their compromise yet. So they're still enemies, but they're still enemies that like each other. And it's not something it's not like love at first sight. Like they like each other through time and time again of meeting each other, in coincidence, but that's the point, because it's a romance, but like in coincidences, but like it really, like it really boils down to the question, like, how do you find peace? How do you create peace? And so I think it's tackling a very hard idea within this world, but then it's also doing a really good job of building this Romeo and Juliet-esque relationship, and having good subplots, like the captain getting a magic crest, and now it's like, well, how do we save her? But that also, ties into the idea of peace. Like, we shouldn't be persecuting people for these things, and and the people in that squad know it, but they follow the country, and that's not always good. So it's just, I think they're tackling a lot of good issues within this world and doing a good job.
Yeah, yeah. This is definitely one that I need to get current on. In large part because, like, y'all, I feel if I don't watch it this season, winter 2021 is so packed. If I don't watch it now, I'm never going to see this anime.
That's 100% true.
I mean, look, Promise Neverland comes out next year.
Attack on Titan, Promise Neverland.
I gotta watch it now. Otherwise, it's never going to get watched.
Crazy.
No, but I will say it seems like a really solid show, and like I hate that I looked at the art and I was like, I already know what this is going to be about. I shouldn't have judged, and that's my fault.
That's understandable. I try my best not to judge, but it be happening. Happening.
You can't help it. You can't help it.
Number 3. This is very contested. My top 3 right now is very contested. Honestly, I could change it at any moment.
Okay.
But number 3 right now, Akudama Drive.
Oh, I cannot believe you put that at number 3. Okay. Okay.
Akudama Drive.
It's fight words.
It's hard. It's so hard. My top 3 is so hard, because Akudama Drive is, first of all, Studio Period did above and beyond than they've done on any other anime within the past 5 years within this one anime. Like, how you've been working on Boruto and fucking Black Clover for 3-5 years, and this one anime looks 10 times, 20, 30 times better than both of those. And this has CGI parts. This has CGI parts in it that look fantastic.
I was gonna say the CGI is really fluid. It is really fluid. You don't notice it, and it's so wow, I forgot that they did Tokyo Ghoul, huh? Oh boy.
Like y'all have made so many mistakes, and then y'all just poop out this or drop this amazing the story,
I mean,
amazing animation, amazing characters,
it's
amazing.
good.
Like, what?
And like I will say like Akudama Drive is this really happy marriage between like the creator of Danganronpa, who I'm a big fan of Danganronpa. Look, if I had to give a TED talk, it could be on Danganronpa. But it's this really happy marriage of Danganronpa's creator like writing this really rebellious, ambitious story paired with Studio Pierrot's like superb animation, and it's good. I don't have anything else to say other than it's good. The opening is beautiful. The art is beautiful. The CG, like the CGI is really good. It blends so well. It's just I mean, like I believe this was also like inspiration came from Blade Runner, which you definitely can see in the cyberpunk aspect. It's
And
good.
this anime drips with fucking style.
Oh
Like
God, yeah.
style in this
Yeah.
anime, from the fighting to to how they switch scenes to the
Yeah.
just like how the movement works, how the animation works, how it moves with each like different characters, different abilities. It just drips with style.
Yeah.
And
It's good.
there's one part like when they have the part where they're doing like their exposition drops reminds me of the puppets from Control, the Control game, like where they and I think
Mhm.
it's also with I forget what the other game is called. Oh my gosh, this is the most recent one. Like it's on the series, whatever. But like that, it's creepy, but then it's also
Yeah.
like endearing, and it's like wow, like
Yeah.
it's so good. Like Studio Perry,
And
what the fuck?
and I'll say the plot twists are good. You don't
Great.
see them coming. Let me tell you, like uh episode 7's plot twist. Yeah, wasn't expecting that. The betrayal.
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah. Wasn't expecting.
Perfectly
It was
executed.
so good. And then we had to wait a week. And we had to wait a week. I mean, it's a really good this anime could have gone one of two ways. Having played all of Danganronpa, it could have gone like way too over the top and it could have been almost goofy. Or it could have done exactly what it's doing right now and been really good. And it's good. It's really, really good. I mean, it's just really good. It's artistically beautiful. It is I love that the characters don't have a name.
Yes.
That they're just their name is their title.
They're crying who they are, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, there are some heartbreaking moments when certain characters die. There's powerful moments where betrayals happen. It's just good. Also, my favorite voice actress, Megumi Ogata, is my favorite character, the Doctor.
Yeah, the voice actors in all like in the sub
everyone's so good.
Amazing.
Everyone's so good. And I'm actually I have to say I'm actually kind of excited to see what they're gonna do with the dub. I don't know who all they're gonna cast.
They're releasing it's already they already released the names for who's gonna be the dub. And they actually released a PV for it today or yesterday.
Yeah, okay. Because I imagine they're gonna get some pretty quality folks on there, but like it's a good show. It's a really good show. I love that there's a cult around the Shinkansen. That's the funniest thing to me. That like the bullet train in Japan has like ascended to be like a religious symbol. It's so funny. It's just really good. It's really good. All the characters are likable. I don't have a favorite one because they're all my favorite.
That's true. I like even the Doctor with portrayal, still good.
Honestly, the Doctor kind of was my ride or die for a while. I was like, she has pink hair, likes wine, and anytime she's killed, just stitches herself back together. Great.
Oh,
Great.
it does a great job of like marrying the like the like the what's it called when it comes to belief. Oh my gosh, we said it earlier.
Like
Suspension of belief.
yeah,
It does a good job of marrying like realism with suspension of belief.
right, because it's absolutely absurd. The
Yeah.
entire premise is absurd. It's a culture in which, like, if you commit a crime, you can be executed for anything. Like,
Mhm.
but it marries the absolutely absurd with like this really high octane story about a bunch of criminals being criminals, like
Yeah.
doing crime.
On an
It's just really
unknown
good.
quest. On an unknown quest. They have no clue what it is. And they just gotta
Right.
follow it or they're gonna die. But then if they do it, they also get money. So it's like, why not? You know?
Right.
So it's so good.
It's good. It's good.
It's like a good Suicide Squad movie.
It is. It is. It has some big Suicide Squad like
Vibes, yeah.
yeah. It's just good, and like with everything, you can nitpick at anime, you can nitpick at even the most perfect of stories. Akadama Drive, I have no interest in nitpicking it. I just want to enjoy it because it's so good. Just so good.
Also, we got to talk about Swindler in the last episode. I think. Swindler,
Oh my god,
she a real one. She's not pussy.
Oh boy,
I love Swindler. Like, end of the day, like
I love
you want to do that,
her.
but she's not pussy. She's like, if I gotta do it, I'm gonna do it to protect the people.
Yeah, Swindler is an interesting character because she's quickly going from being like an ordinary person to like actually stepping into her name.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the beginning of the series, like she's not pulling a con, like she is just a normal person. I don't get the feeling that's going to be the thing at the end.
Nah, she's definitely gonna be a different person than she is now. She's gonna
live up to Swindler.
Yeah, lean into it. I can't wait to see how it ends.
Oh, I'm so excited.
My number 2. Again, this is hard. This is hard, y'all. I know this is gonna be highly contested. Y'all not gonna agree with this. Y'all gonna say I'm wilding.
Are you about to say talentless Nana?
No, number 2 is Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay.
Now, I think Jujutsu Kaisen is a really good shonen. I really love how they kind of twisted the genre on its head, giving us this very gory, very violent, in some ways, horror-esque, anime, and even the manga from like Bo and like other people probably read it. It's really good, and I really love it. The only thing I dislike about it. This is a personal preference. These aren't objective ratings. These are all personal preferences. I feel like the fights are not flashy enough for me. They're more technical, and I love the technical nature of them. They're a lot more technical than they are flashy. Again, this is all personal preference. Like my favorite fights this year have been in like fucking Alicization War of the Underworld Part 2 or whatever. Like that's because they look visually fantastic, and I still think the animation is really Mappa does what needs to be done. It does what needs to be done, but
yeah, I you know what, I actually kind of agree with that because like for a series where magic is a real thing, I do want a little bit more spark when they're fighting. And I guess that's kind of just the nature of like Yuji and his abilities. Like they're magic, but they're not flashy magic. Like I feel like a lot of his fighting is focused on the fact that he's very physically like agile. Which they handle that really beautifully. The way they kind of like rotate the camera around him moving is really, really neat, and it's very fluid, and it tracks him really well. But yeah, I do kind of wish there was a little bit more flash.
I just wish, like that's the only thing I really want from it. That's the only thing I can take away from it.
Yeah, because if you're gonna dig into this kind of plot, like give me like the Mappa deliver. Like I know you can.
But I mean, this is the same thing they did with God of High School in a sense that God of High School is felt more technical than it should have been. Also, I feel like should have been just it should have been more flashy. Like even when he uses his special attacks, where he punches with his fist, I'm gonna be honest, I was a little disappointed in the last episode. Like, because I felt like it should have. Technically, it was a. I just felt like I needed a little more. I need more flash. I need a little more like. I need a little bit more.
Because there are a few moments where I'm like, feels like there should be more impact, but there's not.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's just that, like, I feel like if they had pushed a little bit more with the animation, if they had added a little something else, that would help. Now I will say where the animation shines through, that opening.
Opening is amazing. Opening.
And you know what? And I haven't seen a lot of people talk about the. I haven't seen a lot of people talk about the ending. The ending is really interesting.
Oh, you missed it. You missed it. When the ending dropped, Annie Twitter went dummy.
Okay, cool. Okay, because I was like, the ending is also really like, people are going to be making parody videos of that with like different anime.
They did it with Bleach already. They did it with Bleach, and they've done it with. They did it with one other one. I can't remember what it is, but they did it with Bleach already. It's so good.
Okay, because it's beautiful. Like, that opening especially is really nice, but the ending is where my heart is. It is really, really nice.
It's fun. It's the art style for the ending is so unique, and it's
very unique, and I really love it. I really, really love it. But yeah, I'm kind of with you. I wish there was a little bit more impact sometimes, because it feels like they're almost there, and if they just gave it that 1 more %, it would just be like perfect fight scenes.
I agree, and now listeners who doesn't know about Jujutsu Kaisen, just y'all, this is my number 2, so that means it's still really good. And I mean, this is my top 10 for the entire year. Like, it's still a really good show, like 100% really good. But it could be, but for me, I can't put it at number 1 if there's a part of me that says it could be better. So that's why it's there. So now we talked. You just got. I mean, remark on the story. The story is really good. Everything. Let's talk about number 1. Number 1. You already said it. You already said it, Mercedes. Talentless Nana is the best anime this season. Okay.
Now, I'm gonna have to tell you. Don't get on me for this. I have not seen Talentless Nana.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Talentless.
I know.
So good. You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it.
I've heard, and I don't mind being spoiled. I've heard that it like completely flips in episode 1. Like, you go in thinking it's one thing, and it is not that.
It's not that at all.
I think that's really good.
It does a good job of surprising you, but then also building on the surprises and keep surprising you. It's Asher lost in space, then like in the surprise factor, like the build upon the plot, but then it's also like oh my gosh, I just had the anime in my head and I can't remember. Oh, Decadence with like that big flip on episode 2. Episode 1, you finish, you're like, oh, okay, I know what this is. Episode 2, you're like, yeah, I need to rethink everything I thought about this anime. I need to rethink everything. It does that. It makes you, by the end of episode 1, you have to rethink everything that you thought from minute 1 to minute 24. You're just like, wow, okay, this is not at all what I thought this was going to be. And then how it's interesting. How it builds on that is fucking masterful. And I try to say it too much about a lot of anime, but it's masterful how they build upon episode 1 to where we are now, and how it just keeps upping the ante. And it's so we have talk about Moriarty and the Patriot, and Moriarty and Sherlock Holmes. We have that same battle of the minds within this anime. The same battle of the minds between two of our main characters. One who knows it's Nana. He knows it's fucking Nana doing everything, but Nana is always a step ahead of him, and Nana is always just beating him. Just beating. Oh my God. It's such,
your passion for this anime is impressive, and I love it. I'm here for it.
Oh my gosh. I love mysteries. I love twists and turns. I do love simplicity, right? Like Our Last Crusade or The Rise of a New World and Sleepy Princess and Demon Castle, simplicity. It's very good, right? But I think when you're able to change the perception of how you feel about something in a well-crafted way, that blows simple out the water. When you can
Right.
make something,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
make something that its basis is simple, and then change it into something that's complex. And the way,
Oh yeah.
the way that Nana, the way that she be murdering these folk is, oh my gosh.
And I'll say, you know, if there's one thing that this anime season has shown, simplicity when executed well is really good, but
Mhm.
really twisty, plotty stories when they're executed well are really good.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, because I think Talentless Nana and Akudama Drive both they draw on a lot of things I like. Like Akudama Drive is drawing very much so on like the creator having made Danganronpa. Talentless Nana kind of also has that vibe though of like
Mhm.
being very twisty, and it's when it's well done, it's well done. And like, I mean, what else is there to say? Like when you have stuff, and a lot of stuff this season is well done, which is like a blessing because there are some seasons where you're like
There's nothing to watch.
starved. You're starved.
Oh my
Like,
gosh. Spring 2020.
yeah, oh yeah. So
Spring
you
2020.
talk spring 2020. Talk about summer 2020. It
Summer
was
2020 was just a
summer
mess.
summer was rough.
It
And
was
I
a mess.
mean, granted, like, I mean, whose summer wasn't rough? The pandemic was at its, you know, well, okay, for every other country than America, the pandemic was at its peak. But you know, I mean, like, fall 2020 has really shown like there's a lot of thought going into the series that are coming out. There's a lot of passion, and they're good, and it shows that there's a lot of passion,
Mhm.
which is excellent.
I agree. I agree. This is a very varied season. I do wish we had like maybe one or two more romance slice of life entries.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I gotta tell you, I'm a sucker for slice of life. Slice of life is where I live, and I do wish we had a little bit more because the slice of life that we do have is a lot of it is not great. I'll just say a lot of it's not great. Or you have to or you have to specifically like idols. That the two big slice of life, you have to like idols, and I don't. I realistically know a lot of people don't, and that's okay. Um, that's okay. I tell myself as like I hug my so I hug myself, you know, like but it realistically, like I do wish there was some more slice of life, like
I
kind of
agree.
mellow out the action.
I agree. Just one or two more entries, and
One or
I'll be
two,
happy.
one or
But
two.
besides
Yeah.
that, a very varied season that is definitely topped by just talent knowledge that has this complexity, but then the mind games, everything that happens in it is done. So it's crafted really well because it could have failed, but it's
Right. That's
crafted
the thing
really
is it
well.
could have failed.
Could have failed, but crafted really well. Like, and as some people call it, My Hero Academia and Among Us, if they were. If they
My
that
God.
that's what this is. It's Among Us,
Oh
My
my
Hero
God.
Academia edition, and it's the stories behind it and how it's just it is something you have to watch. You have to witness.
Okay. Okay. I'm a commit to that for you. I'm a commit. I'm a commit.
It's a must. Quickly, I'm gonna run through the continuations. I'm not sure how much time we have because Craig kept not Craig, my computers kept fucking up. So first one we have is it Damachi? Is it wrong to try and pick up girls in the dungeon? This season I think so. Okay, I will say this: I would go back and watch Sword Horatio,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. It's a spinoff.
It's the spinoff with isn't it Blondie? I can't remember her name right now.
Are you talking about Eyes?
Wise.
Valentine?
It's Eyes,
It's
yeah.
not about Eyes. It's about another character that's in that Familia who
Yeah.
also loves Eyes. But what's good about it is it gives a lot of background for this season, incidentally,
Yeah.
which is kind of crazy. Because it's a different Familia, different people, they go through different. And this is what I
Right.
really love about it. It goes through different stories and so we're seeing the background of what's happening while little rookie is going through his main story.
Yeah.
So like this story, it's just as important. That's what I love about the spinoff. This story is just as important as his story. It's not a useless spinoff. It's something that I feel like
it's purposeful.
Perfect.
Yeah, because I'll say like I love Don Machi. I haven't watched all of season 2, so like I didn't jump on season 3, but I like the novels. I like the manga. I really like Belle. I think Belle is a very enjoyable. I think it's a very enjoyable lead character.
Like best boy character.
Yeah, he's a good boy. He's a good boy, and we love him. Like little rookie, he's great. He's great.
And honestly, watching him fight the Minotaur from a different perspective,
such an interesting thing.
You know how hype that got me? I got hyped like the first time watching it. It's so
because like that fight is hype already.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't imagine it from a different perspective. Like, excellent.
And then it shows you like how they've, because like in the main line, like I think it's like the end of the season or close to the end of the season. But in this one, it shows you how it affects the main group of like, you know, the Loki familia that watched him do it. And like it's just seeing how his impact on them. So like all I'll say is if you're watching Danmachi season 3 and you're a little confused, you're a little weirded out, go back and watch Sword or Rateo or Rishio, how you say it. It will give you background on what you didn't get. So after watching that and then going back and watching season 3, like continuing on it, I felt like I had the full story.
Yeah,
it kind of sucks that you have to do that, but it's still it's a good watch. It's a good season, so watch it.
I was gonna say it sounds worth it though.
It's worth it. It's definitely worth it. But Danmachi season 3 is doing okay. Belle's still best boy and
best boy.
I guess for me, I do want more fighting.
Yeah.
I do want more hands being thrown. What I really liked about it was what I really liked about Danmachi season 1 and the first half of season 2, most of season 2, is that Belle is fighting to get stronger the entire time. It's really about hands. It's a non-action shonen that has harem elements that plays off the harem elements perfectly. It is never too engrossed in the harem, which is amazing. It's the best way to do harem.
Yeah.
It's never too engrossed in it, but it's still there. But he's a weak person that grows mentally and physically. And season 3,
right,
not enough hands being thrown for me. Plus, the animation studio is so good at animating action. I just
yeah. And you just want to see the action, right? Like when you have a good studio like that, you just want to see some good action.
I like the story, but I want some hands.
Yeah.
Next, we have the Irregular at Magic High School season 2 of the Visitor arc, and the pacing for me is too fast.
I mean, I have to say, Irregular at Magic High School is a series I've never gone near, and I don't know if I will.
It's arguably garbage. Arguably,
it's kind of what I've heard. That's kind of what I think that might be why I've never gone near it.
I would say the animation was good.
Well, and you know, I know it's quite popular in Japan. I mean, I know like it's clearly has an audience. I just think it's not my thing.
It's arguably garbage, but it's also very entertaining.
Fair enough, you know. Fair enough.
Like watching season 1, I don't even remember season 1 because it came out so long ago. But watching season 1, I was like, okay. The worst parts are the whole sister falls in love with her older brother.
Oh no! Oh no!
I hate that trope so much.
I'm not a fan of it either. I don't like it.
It's not even fair to him because he got like his emotions removed and shit like that. And she's like kind of I don't want to get into it. But in Regular Magic High School, the pacing is just really bad for me right now. There's a few times like I went from episode 7 to episode 8, and they like skipped like a whole portion of it. And I'm just like, I feel like I missed something. I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
I feel like I missed something. But I mean, it's interesting. The action scenes are animated really well. If they just didn't have any of that system level, if they didn't have
yeah,
if they didn't have any of that Alabama shit, I'd be okay.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
It had that.
So-
All right, next we have Haikyuu season 4, part 2. This shit is slapping. This shit is amazing. If you're not watching Haikyuu, you fucking missing out. You need to go tune in that motherfucker right now. You're missing out.
I was gonna say, I feel like Haikyuu is always pretty self-explanatory. It's good. Like
There's only one episode that was bad this year.
has. I mean, now don't come for me for this. Don't come for me for this. I swear, never watched Haikyuu.
Oh my, you need to watch this. I wouldn't even say this. I wouldn't even say this. Go to Netflix, watch the dub. I watched the dub first, and then switch to sub. And both voice acting wise is amazing. The sub is good. The dub is just funnier.
Okay.
The dub is just funny. That's why you need to watch the dub. The dub is just funnier. But no, Haikyuu is a must watch.
Okay.
It is a golden show on this pod. Only one person on our pod disagrees with that, and his opinion doesn't matter.
Okay. Because I mean, like, I will say, like, I've engaged with Haikyuu. I've read like a few volumes of the manga. It is good. It's good, and it's beloved for a reason. I think it's just because it's a longer running anime. By the time that I got around to being interested in watching it, I think it was on season 3, and I was just like, oh, that's a lot to watch. And
you know how many episodes season 3 is?
How many is it?
10.
Okay, never mind.
Season 2 is like 12, and I think season 1 is 12. Yeah. Season 4 is in 2 parts. This is the longest one so far.
My, I have run out of excuses. So
there's not that many episodes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Because I mean, like, I like the manga a lot. It's a very heartwarming story. It's a very powerful story. I see why. I mean, like, it's like I said, even not having even watched this season, it's easy to see why it's beloved. It's just a good series.
All I have to say is, Bo, he read the entire manga, and he has it in his top 3.
Okay.
Anime 2.
Okay. See, that's the message is clear. Go watch it. Okay, I got it. I got it. You ain't got to tell me twice.
There's only one episode this season that was kind of iffy. It was episode 3. I don't know what happened with the animation studio. I think they had a heart attack while they was making it, but it was bad. But episode 4 bounces back with stellar animation. Some of the best animation you're going to watch in your life.
Okay, so adding Haikyuu to the list. Okay.
Season 4 just has you on the edge of my seat. And it is the reason why I hate watching anime week to week, because once I start watching Haikyuu, I can't stop. Like, I have an issue. Like, there's only a few anime that does that to me. And Haikyuu is one of those anime where if I start watching it, I will miss out on sleep. I cannot go to sleep until I catch up. So I literally, like, when I was catching up on this 2 weeks ago, I had to stop myself because I was on like season 4. I was like part 4. I started late. It's also my fault. I started late. It was a busy day. I started late, and I was like episode 4 or 5, and I'm just like, I gotta finish one more episode. 1:30 in the morning. One more episode. I got work in the morning. One more episode. It's one more. I cannot stop once I start watching Haikyuu. And season 4 part 2 has delivered, and it's been so entertaining, and it's so edge of your seat action. Oh my gosh. There's very few anime that has me like this. Lastly, we have Golden Kamuy season 3. I binge watched Golden Kamuy like 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. I've wanted to get into Golden Kamuy for a while, but here's my knowledge of it. It's 2 things. Lots of naked men, poop jokes. Is that all that there is?
No, the poop jokes end after season 2 for the most part. And even then, it's not like real poop jokes. It's like so that he has like a Japanese I think a Japanese side thing that you add miso. I think it's miso. Is it miso?
Oh yeah.
I think that's what it is. And like the little girl he travels with, she's never seen it before. And whenever she had seen it, she thinks it was poop. So she's like, "You're putting poop in your poop." So that's like the running gag at first, and then she starts to like it, and then it goes away.
Okay.
about the
Because
naked men thing.
Yeah, because okay, you gotta explain that one to me because I feel like every GIF image I've seen is a lot of muscly naked men. I don't.
This is not a lot of naked men. There's
Okay, okay.
like
See,
you're not seeing no
your voice went up. You hit some Mariah Carey octaves just now when you said that.
You're not gonna see no ding-a-lang or nothing like that. You're not gonna.
Oh, yeah, I hope not.
Like some booty cheeks once in a while, but it's not. It's not honestly. It's not too bad. Like I mean, and it's not like where it doesn't make sense or where it's improper. Like it'll be
Okay.
like they're about to. Actually, it doesn't even happen that often, really, because remember, like they're like in the wilderness. Like stuff happens from time to time. Like
Right.
so, like it's not very often. There's only one time where it's played as often like as a real joke, and it's because
Okay.
it's when it's actually real funny. They get there's these two characters that like each other but don't really know they like each other yet, and they're walking around and talking. It's a guy and a girl, and they're at this one village on their way up north, and one of the people in the village come up and give them like an otter's tail or something like that, and it's an aphrodisiac, right? So it's meant for them to, but they don't know that right now. But he doesn't know that.
Okay.
She knows it, but he doesn't know that because she's like she knows the language of that village, but he doesn't. So she knows it's aphrodisiac, but he doesn't. So something happens and she has to go, and he goes back to the cabin with the other three guys, and they're like, "Oh, we're hungry. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and cook the beaver tail or whatever." So then this actually is hilarious.
Okay.
So he cooks it, and like the smell goes up, and they're like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, wow. They start touching themselves, like touching the shoulders and arms, and they look over at the guy. He's like, "Wow, I didn't know you looked that handsome before. What's good with you?" And I'm just watching. I'm like, "Yo, what is going on?" Oh, it's an aphrodisiac. Like, wow, this, and like they're like we should wrestle.
Oh my gosh.
Like it's played for jokes, but like, that's like the only
Okay.
thing like excessive. But for the most part, there's not that many naked men in there. It doesn't happen very often.
Well, I appreciate you clarifying that because, like, I feel like anytime, especially when I've seen like screenshots of the manga or like someone talking about like going through the manga, I'm like, are they constantly naked? Because they are like they're in Hokkaido, which is a cold part of Japan. Like, okay, I feel much better now.
I mean, but sometimes what happens? Sometimes they'll like be fighting somebody. Remember, they're in Hokkaido, in the cold part of Japan. They'll be fighting somebody, and they'll like roll into like a river. And I mean, if you're in the middle of the wilderness and you're fighting somebody, you're not paying attention to the surroundings as well. So that happens probably like once or twice, and then you're not supposed to wear wet clothes or you'll get sick. So then they have to take it. So and I'm not saying like, and it's not a fan service part.
Right. It definitely seems like okay. So I'm just glad for that clarification because now like I might dip my toes in.
I will say Golden Kamuy, I think, is also, after binging through season 1, 2, and up to where it is now, I think it's worth the watch. I think Golden Kamuy has one of the most interesting plots that I've ever watched.
Okay.
It's definitely took the cake for definitely one of the most interesting plots. And the characters they're really good. It's very, what's the word? I'm saying like no promise, no forgiving. It's not forgiving. There it is. Like it's very rough. I really like it. It's definitely doesn't hold back.
I'll give it a try. I'll give it a try.
All right. But that's all the anime that we've been watching for the season. Again, the top 5 is number 1, Talentless Nana. Number 2, Jujutsu Kaisen. Number 3, Akudama Drive. Number 4, Our Last Crusade, The Rise of the New World. And number 5, Sleepy Princess and the Demon Castle. That's my top 5 for the season.
I think it's clear that like Akudama Drive is my number 1.
Like, I can tell.
Like, it's just good. It's just good.
You say this until you watch Talentless Nana. And there's a lot of good anime to watch this season. But let's move on to the news. I'm trying to speed through this because I have no clue how long this is right now. All I know is I'm going to be editing for a long time. And that's
Yeah. Yeah.
We kept stuck because like Craig left once, and then my computer had a meltdown, and I don't really know.
I mean, we had a lot happen, but it's been fun. It's been fun.
A lot of fun. First thing we have is live action Ronu Kenshin final chapter films. Teaser
Oh boy.
reveals April and June 2021 opening. I've heard Ronu Kenshin has like some of the most faithful and best
Yeah.
live action movies.
I mean, like they're good. I will say my feelings are Rurouni Kenshin. The franchise is good. It's a shame that the creator's a scumbag.
Yes.
Just and it really is, because like the franchise, I think for a lot of people is very memorable. I remember watching Rurouni Kenshin on Toonami.
Yeah.
And I think the live actions look good. It is just a shame that the creator's a scumbag and has never been made to face like any consequence.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, that must be nice to never have to face a consequence.
When I read about him, I was like, wow, like,
yeah,
this series is too good to be acting like that, bro. Like,
yeah, and I mean, like, it's just. But I mean, like, I don't think you can separate necessarily like a creator from their work. I do think Rurouni. I think like I'm not going to shame people into enjoying Rurouni Kenshin. I think it's great that there's something that people love, but like, boy, I'm telling you that the creator really could just kick rocks. Just sucks.
That's not true. Next we have Kaiichi Sato. Kaiichi Sato. Samurai and Shogun, short for Rick and Morty animated series, has a planned sequel. So if you haven't seen this, it was it was animated by Studio Dean, which I think I remember watching this one. I don't know if I liked it or not. Studio Dean is
yeah.
iffy.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
So iffy. But Sato added he has a number of ideas that he would like to make happen, and that he would like to someday implement his own ideas into the main story of Rick and Morty. So we might get an anime spinoff of Rick and Morty, which I'm down for.
You never know. You never know.
Rick and Morty has a lot of anime influences if you watch the show, so I feel like it's definitely.
I feel like everything is open to possibilities these days. Like, because I mean, realistically, like American animation is influenced by Japanese animation, which is influenced by American animation. There's a feedback. There's a positive feedback loop. So you never know.
That's very true. That's 100% true.
You never know. It's great. It's great.
Next we have Sony reveals the winners of the PlayStation Partner Awards 2020. And I think was the Partner Award is a award that games highly acclaimed and praised around the world. The Partner Award, it went to Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2. I didn't know this game came out. Black Desert, Neo 2, Resident Evil 3 Remake / Resident Evil Resistance, Final Fantasy 10. Is that what? 14? And Shadowringers?
Oh, that's probably 14. 14.
My Roman numeral messed up a little bit.
Yeah,
Persona
that's 14.
and then Yakuza Like a Dragon. There was a special award, and these games are selected from 2 categories: game developed outside Japan and Asia, and games developed in collaboration with SIE World Studios. That is Apex Legends and Death Stranding. And then the Grand Award is these games are 3 titles with the biggest sales released between October 2019 and September 2020 that were developed in Japan or Asia. And that is eFootball, PES 2020, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and then Final Fantasy 7 Remake. Almost 12. God damn.
I heard the 12 almost come out, and I was like, I hope he goes 7, go 7, go 7, go 7, go 7.
Like the X and 12 switched to my head. I was like, yo, what's good? X and V switched to my head. I was like, yo, what's going on? Next, we have Funimation reveals that Akudama Drive's anime's English dubcast.
Yeah.
If you're interested, I can say them all right now. So right now we have Daisy Guevara as Black Cat, Zeno Robinson, Brawler, Jonas Scott as Courier, Matt Shipman as Cutthroat, Brittany Lauda as Doctor, Y Chang as Hacker, Kellen Goff as they don't have the name here. Why do they not have the name here? Kellen Goff. It's as what's his name?
Cutthroat.
No, it's
Oh.
the
Um.
the gangster guy. The gangster guy. What's his name?
Oh, Hoodlum.
Kellen Goff as Hoodlum. DC Douglas as Master. Macy Ann Johnson as Ordinary, and then Jenny Yokobori as Pupil.
Okay. I'm definitely interested in hearing like this cast kind of come together. I'm definitely.
I've heard a little bit of it, and I'm not gay. I do like dubs. I'm not gonna say I don't.
Yeah.
However, dubs are not my favorite.
Yeah. No, I'll say, like, I mean, I'm very neutral. Like, I think that for every good dub, I actually think that there's a bad Japanese cast. It just all depends. I think, like, some dubs hit right. Sometimes the Japanese original, you're like, Jesus Christ, who who got these people together? It all depends. It all depends, right? Yeah.
I agree. I've heard some bad Japanese dubs before where I'm just like, yeah, what were y'all thinking? And Japanese subs, whatever. And I just yeah. But I'm hoping people will enjoy it. Zeno Robinson, I know he's good and he sounds good from what I heard. But for other people, Doctor's voice, I felt like it was a little off character. But
yeah, I would have liked to see someone a little bit different, maybe. But you know what? I'll give the benefit of the doubt. Let's see. I guess let's see what gets brought to the table, maybe as they kind of get into the characters. So, yeah.
Okay. Next we have Square Enix offers permanent work from home program, and so Square Enix is permanently enabling work from home for all its employees from December 1st onwards, establishing it as a permanent and core program among the working styles it accommodates instead of a temporary means to prevent infections during the COVID-19 pandemic.
That's pretty big for Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Considering, like, before this, there was not really work from home at all. I mean, like, I'm sure it existed, but like, it's one of those things I think that was like a special circumstance. So that's nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. Like something.
Can we get that in the States?
Some people are doing it, but I think Google did it.
Yeah.
But besides that, not a lot of people are doing it. So
yeah, can we get that in that second check, please?
Jeez, we better be lucky we got the first check. You know, you asked too much.
I didn't even qualify for it because I wasn't in the country. So
oh my God.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Next, we have more Demon Slayer news. We have Demon Slayer news every week. So, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie, the train arc movie, earns the Hochi Film Award for animation. And actually, no, I'm gonna talk about this one later. And Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba capsizes to Titanic to be the #2 all-time film in Japan.
Oh.
I feel like people just don't got nothing else to watch, so just going back and watching Demon Slayer.
Well, and I admittedly I do think that it's helped by the fact that, like, this year, not a lot of new movies are coming out. You know, I mean, like, when nobody can go, well, you know, and when nobody can create movies, like animation that can be created a lot more instantly, yeah, it kind of has an edge. So I do think that's helping Kimetsu no Yaiba and Demon Slayer a lot. I mean, also people love it, so I guess maybe that's why. Man, that's a lot of money.
Well, they've made a lot of money.
I mean, that's a lot of money.
Next, we have hacker gets prison sentence for Nintendo information leak, and that's really serious. Just a little bit of child porn possession.
Yeah, I mean, because I think he's getting like 3 years, isn't he?
I'm looking at it right now, and it says the United States Department of Justice announced today that has sentenced 21-year-old Ryan Hernandez to 3 years in prison for crimes related to hacking and the possession of child pornography, with 7 years of supervised release following prison and a requirement to register as a sex offender.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, he did a bad thing. It's just tragic. I mean, it's just tragic. Like, y'all, I mean, like, and I can't imagine the content that they found. It's just not good. It's just not good.
But
Like,
at least he's behind bars now. I mean, at least something's happening to him.
I mean, well, you know, you do a bad thing, there is a consequence. Like,
Sure.
so.
Next we have 24th Detective Conan film rescheduled for April 16th.
God,
after
there's 24?
24 movies. Detective Conan is so popular in Japan, it's crazy. But it's like it's not really popular in America, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
So in Japan. Kakegurui Twins spin-off manga gets a live-action series in 2021. So you want some more of your Kakegurui, then you have to look out for that live-action series.
Oh my God, that's my jam. Love Kakegurui.
New horror novel gets a reprint within 2 days of its release. So it's called The Intuition of Haruhi Sugimaya.
Jesus Christ. People have been so thirsty for another novel, and 9 years later we finally get it. It's ridiculous.
I don't think I finished the anime because those 7 episodes pissed me off. So
yeah, that Endless 8 nonsense. Yeah, we don't talk about that in this house. We don't talk about that.
Oh my gosh. Next we have New York Times names Keep Your Hands Off Aizoken as one of 2020's best shows, and all that just makes me happy because I thought people forgot about it. I thought people people wasn't talking about Winter 2020. Winter 2020 has some of the best anime this year. Keep Your Hands Off Aizoken is fire. I said this last week on the squad episode. I'm gonna keep saying it till every single one of y'all motherfuckers go ahead and watch it. Keep Your Hands Off Aizoken is an amazing anime.
It's a really powerful series. It's a really, really powerful series. And I can't think of anything else other than like it is powerful. It will make you want to create. If you haven't seen it this year, please do yourself like the favor of watching it. It's good.
Good. Oh my gosh. The art style is good. The animation is good.
Mm-hmm.
The story is good. Everything about it is so good.
Excellent.
I could do a whole episode on just that anime. Anyway, Makoto Shinkai reacts to Demon Slayer beating his films at the box office. Last Tuesday, it was reported that Demon Slayer movie, Mugen Train anime had outsold Makoto Shinkai's Your Name in Japan's box office, which is crazy. Shinkai himself reacted to his new development by tweeting, "Whoa, already," laughs. As frustrating as that may be for me, the fact that records are constantly getting beaten is a sign of a healthy entertainment industry. The least I can do is work hard to create good films.
I can't really say anything else because he's right.
That's still just crazy. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. It is wild.
So wild. Next we have Ghibli's first CG feature, Earwig and the Witch, previewed its first promo video. All I gotta say is I've watched it probably, I think, two times, and I'm getting used to it, but it just feels soulless. It feels soulless.
I think what a lot of people are probably going to struggle with is that it's so dramatically different than the style of 2D animation, right? Like, because I looked at it also and I was like, I don't like it, and I was kind of hoping to be instantly charmed, and it does kind of feel empty.
Mm-hmm.
I think part of it is like I'm expecting it to look like 3D versions of like their 2D animation, and that's just not what it is, right? But I'm still kind of hesitant about it. I'm not going to pretend I'm not so sure if I'm going to like it.
I want to see it, but it just doesn't feel like Lupin. The only thing we can really compare it to is Lupin the Third. And Lupin the Third movie it looks amazing.
Excellent.
It's expressive. It feels, it feels really good, but this one just doesn't have that same feeling. And it doesn't.
and I'm not sure if it's ever going to, right? Like I want it to, but I just don't know.
Yeah.
I'm real. Well, time will tell, I guess, but I'm worried. Come through, Ghibli. Come through.
Next, you have tennis champion Naomi Osaka stars in a new manga. Kodansha's Shoujo's magazine Nakayoshi recently announced on Twitter that a new manga starring three-time Grand Slam singles champion will launch in its February issue, which releases on December 28th. So that should be interesting.
Yeah, it looks cute. It looks quite cute. And I really love that she is finally getting the recognition that she deserves as both a Black and Japanese woman.
Mhm.
It's great. It's great. Y'all, I love her.
Next, we have Universal Studios Japan opens Super Nintendo World at the theme park on February 4th. And all it does is remind me that over here in America, we don't have nice things. Okay. We don't have nice things. All the nice things are in Japan because I wish I was there, not here. But that's fine. Sadness is my name. Anyway, next we have top selling light novels in Japan by volume in 2020. It's crazy. But about the next 4 lists I'm about to read you for the top selling light novels and mangas. Okay. Rank, this only gives us top 5. Number 1, Demon Slayer. Number 2, Demon Slayer. Number 3, Demon Slayer. Number 4, Overlord 14. Number 5, Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
That's the top.
Yeah, I mean, Demon Slayer has been it's a behemoth of a franchise. Like, it is just the Demon Slayer creator has got to be raking in them residuals. Like,
he's getting like millions upon millions of sales.
I mean, just stacks on stacks on stacks. Like,
plus how much the movie's making too. That man's a rich man.
I mean, it's just it's jarring. Like, it's amazing.
Especially with how contended the ending is. Like, a lot of people don't like the ending, but
right.
like it's still selling like hotcakes. Ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, and globally, like, it's not just Japan; it's selling everywhere.
Next we have top selling light novels in Japan by series 2020. First, of course, what do you think it was? Demon Slayer.
Oh
Next,
my god.
We have ReZero at number 2, which I'm happy about. Number 3, we have That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Number 4, we got Sword Art Online. Fuck y'all niggas, yeah. And then number 5, we have Kusuriya no Hitorigato. So
yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that's about. The Apothecary Diaries. Yeah.
Mm.
That one's kind of like not medieval Japan, but like I think it's set in the 18th century Japan, and it's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. We're getting it in English now.
Wow, interesting. If it does not get an anime, I will read it. If it does, I won't.
I think it hasn't gotten an anime yet, but it's probably going to, I would imagine. It's pretty, I mean, as you can see, it's popular. So yeah.
Okay. Next, we have top selling manga in Japan by volume 2020. And this one goes up to rank 30, right? So from rank 1 to rank 22, it's Demon Slayer.
Okay. What's number 23?
One Piece. 24 is
One Piece. Oh my god.
25 is One Piece. And then 26, surprise, it's Demon Slayer. 27, surprise again, it's Demon Slayer. 28 is Spy X Family. 29 is Attack on Titan. And then 30 is Spy X Family.
Well, I'm glad there was a little variety at the end. I mean, Demon Slayer is just taken over. It's a lot.
And I'm not even reading the craziest part, which is the estimated sales. If I read the estimated sales, I'll read it for the last one. So, top selling manga in Japan by series 2020. First one, Demon Slayer, of course. Next one is Kingdom. Then it's One Piece. Then it's Haikyuu. Then it's Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, let me tell you the estimated sales. For rank 1, Demon Slayer, the estimated sales is 82,345,447, right? So
That's a lot.
Kingdom, for Kingdom, number 2 is 8,251,058. It is literally beating it.
Demon Slayer is 10 times as popular.
10
Literally,
times.
it's a lot. That's a lot to process. Okay. I don't like them numbers.
Oh my god.
That's a lot of manga.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god.
It's like,
It's a lot.
like, oh my gosh. This is, and that's why we have Demon Slayer news every week, guys. That's why. Next we have My Hero Academia's 3rd anime film is confirmed. It's gonna have returning main staff. I believe it's main staff from the last movie. Yeah, it's the main staff from the 2 previous films and from the part of the series. Then we have, it's also going to be released in summer 2021. So that's interesting. I can't wait to see what they do with this property.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
We're going to get 1 movie every year for the next 10 years. So
yeah, that's going to be a lot, huh?
And it's like, why? It's also like, why? We don't need that.
I mean, I guess money. That's always the why.
Right. Next, we have The Promised Neverland manga gets a new bonus chapter about Sister Crone, which makes me happy because I feel like Sister Crone is disparaged a lot. So
it makes me happy and anxious. It makes me very happy and anxious. I'm like, y'all, don't mess my girl over like that. She deserves good. She deserves something good. Don't do her wrong, Japan. Don't do her wrong.
She already doesn't look bad. She already looks bad. So like, if they don't give her respect, it's gonna look real bad.
I mean, we saw how y'all made her look like little Sambo in the anime. Please give us something. And
I didn't hate her, but I can see where people would have problems.
I love her. I definitely think, unfortunately, the anime exaggerated a lot of her and made her look more Jemima-ish. Yeah. And I hope that after all this time that maybe the creator has like kind of realized like, ooh. So I'm optimistic though. I really like her as a character and I wish she had had more screen time. So I'm definitely gonna read when that comes out.
Yeah, I might check it out too, especially since it's gonna be animated. Plus, I want to learn more about Sister Crone. So,
right.
I'm glad it's happening. I'm glad it's happening. Let's say
ultimately, yeah, for sure.
So next we have Gintama. The final film gets a novel adaptation in January. So I mean, this is supposed to be the end of Gintama. This is the end of Gintama.
Yeah, when?
Whenever the film comes out, I don't know. The film is supposed to be canon too, so maybe they'll come after the novel finishes.
Oh Lord.
So it's supposed to be canon. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But for people who made this far, thank you for sticking with us. I think it's probably been the longest episode yet. Because again, I have no clue how long we've been doing. We started at like 6. It's now 6 my time, the mountain time. It's now almost 10.
Yeah.
But we definitely did not actually go for 4 hours. Probably like 2.5, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I definitely had fun. Like, it's been really great talking about a really great season of anime. Like, there's a lot of good stuff. I got a lot of stuff on my list. Got Galen that talentless Nana.
You have to. It's a must.
Have to. Will. I promise.
If you have last words, and you can give us some slander, you can say some nice things. I don't encourage nice things. I thrive off of negativity, but you can do what makes you happy. But last words for the people that's listening and for the pod and all that. I just hope everyone's taking care. I hope, maybe
us talking about anime has maybe brought you some joy. It's been a long year, y'all. It's been a long, hard year. And I think Black folks listening, we know it's been a long, hard year. So, you live your best life, enjoy every day, watch some good anime, get on that Akadama drive if you haven't. Just keep on going. 2021's right around the corner. Yeah.
All right.
That's what I got. That's what I got for the people.
She didn't have any negativity. So I gotta supply it.
Didn't.
So my last words are, as always, stay safe. Same thing as always, stay safe. Thank you to Mercedes for coming on here, talking on a pod. I love doing these episodes. I love bringing new people on. So I really enjoyed having you on here. It's a really fun conversation, really fun talk.
Thank you so much. It really was fun. I really enjoyed myself.
I'm gonna have to do it again sometime.
Oh, for sure.
Now I gotta slander Hypnosis Mike again. I'm gonna tell y'all right now.
Go for it.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now. If y'all want to watch it, go ahead. But
don't.
It's corny. It's not good. It's bad. It's trash. I don't want y'all to give them the streams. Let me watch it for you, and I'll tell you if to watch it. Now. Don't watch it because if they get people watching it, they're gonna think it's good. We don't want them to think it's good. That shit's trash. In fact, don't watch it. I'll post some memes. I'll do something. Just don't watch the show.
Yeah, it's just not.
If you're going to illegally stream it, don't give fun. Don't watch it on Funimation. Illegally stream it so they don't get the money.
It's just the show has a lot going on, and I don't know if that's good. I don't think that's good. It's not good.
It's not. But look out for the episode I do with Spicy and Panda on it, where we slander the fuck out of it and make fun of it, and that'll be coming. I think whenever the season ends, or whenever that ends. I don't know when it ends, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, thank y'all for listening. And I'll be back next week. Yeah. So bye to the peoples. You know what I mean?
Bye, y'all.
People, I gotta let people know to say bye. You know, I mean,
Bye.
What's good, everybody? It's your co-host Bo, aka the Manga Mogul, aka the man who reads 1,000 things. I'm just here to thank you guys for listening to the episode of the Black Anime Podcast. If you want to join the discussion with myself and the other co-hosts, connect with us on Twitter and Instagram at BLXXK Anime. Again, that's at BLXXK Anime. I also wanted to remind you guys to check out our Patreon. The link will be in our description below. Depending on the tier that you guys subscribe to, you guys will gain access to exclusive podcasts with our monthly guests, link to join our Discord server with other listeners and us as the Black Anime host, and you also guys get discounts on future Black Anime merch. So it's a pretty cool deal. Again, thank you guys for listening to the episode, and don't forget to look out for our next episode.